Let's say sunshine for everyone, but as far as I can remember, we've been migratory animals living under changing weather. Someday we will foresee obstacles through the blizzard, through the blizzard. Today we will sell our uniform, live together, live together.
Thank you for that, Coyote. Shit. We're off to a great start. All right. Well, shalom, everyone. Let me repeat my intro. But let me go ahead and shout everybody out again. Thank you for joining us today, Coyote Lovely, Tedious Ninja, and Falters. If there anybody else here, well, not saying your name. You're not talking, so fuck y'all. So anyway, we're going to be covering first the YouTube sponsor videos, and we're going to talk about exactly what triggered people, and we're going to be talking about the tweets right afterwards between D'Angelo and Tom. I will highlight one personal interaction I had with his fans, and I will highlight one video, but I do not plan to touch base on a lot of other YouTubers' response because, you know, you could watch a Boblex video for that, so who gives a shit? And I'm pretty sure by now you guys have seen all of those, so we don't need to, you know, scour the internet to find all of the responses because there's a lot of them. And you can still find people arguing about it today, even though I would say it's fairly resolved. Even though we are still going to get a video by Nicholas Diorio going really deep into the topic. I hear Willie Mac is also making a video on it. You know what? Honestly, who isn't probably making a video on it in the commentary community? But this is a great point of interest for a lot of people because it's a very serious issue. We've had multiple different cancellations this year, and now I feel like we're, as a commentary collective, we're all in this situation where we're in desperate need to fight back whenever we even get a whiff of this kind of thing going on. And I'm not just saying this is a whiff, but it started off rather, I guess, mild, and then it blew up to the point, you know, Tom is getting personally harassed. But anyway, before I continue rambling on, let me go ahead and respond to a couple things in chat. Random topic, but your profile reminds me of Swoop from Little Big Planet. Yeah, I've heard that a few times. Legit, his fans are some of the most brainless people. That's subjective, I guess, because I've actually had conversations with some of them. I would say it's a good 70-30 split. Like Augie said, D'Angelo is a grifter. Based on his responses and like how he is contradicting himself rather consistently, you could come to that conclusion and it would be fair. However, I don't think any of us are a consistent fan of his, you know? Like, I am actively talking in DMs with, I guess, one of his past fans, I guess you could call him. She disavows now. But we constantly are debating the topic of D'Angelo. And I don't know if I don't know. I guess it's just one of those situations where, like, we could only guess because we're not, you know, avid fans of his. All right, let's see. Can't hear it. Yep, there we go. Alright, by the way, I'm the same guy as Hey, what's up, dude? Alright, let's see. Nothing else in the chat to add other than they're retarded. Alright. Alright, so let's go ahead and watch Turkey Tom's video. I'll be stopping it multiple times to talk about the points of interest, but we are going to watch it full through and through. It's a 16-minute video, but we'll probably, you know, drag it out for a bit longer than that. And then we'll do the exact same with D'Angelo's response. Don't want to miss a single thing. Don't want to cut it up like D'Angelo. Before I keep talking about it, let's go ahead and watch.
Writhing masses in shame.
There we go. Let me raise that a bit. Alright. Disclaimer, do not attack or harass any of the people mentioned in this video. It has been created for the purposes of criticism and entertainment, not bullying. Thank you. That's a very important thing to also emphasize. You know, a lot of people are claiming that his content, you know, is appealing to the anti-Semitic audience, but, you know, anti-Semitic people, they really care about bullying, don't they? That's one. Even though that's not really, I guess, a point against D'Angelo. The video in itself could have this at the front, and then he could just be like, man, burn the Jews! Even though he's not like that, but he could. He could, so I don't know. I just think I just like that this is also one of the things that would battle, I guess, that theory, but it is a minor thing.
Hello and shalom, my brothers, and welcome.
Shalom. Personally, I've only counted about 4 Jewish interactions in this video. We just saw 2.
Welcome to a very special episode of the
This is the second one, by the way.
Tigger Tom Show. Today, I have a very special presentation for all of you. A story, really. One of gaming, shaving, dangerous people pushing dangerous narrative.
Sorry about that.
My personal favorite pastime, being a merchant, an accumulator of wealth to hide away from my fellow man and look down upon the writhing masses in shame. Shame and pity.
Okay, drop him. He's a racist and an anti-Semite.
I've been doing this
Now-
YouTube thing for a good bit now. I've been
Fucking
watching YouTube
sake. My monitor just died. But a lot of people are making the correlation that since he said he's a peruser of wealth and all of that, and the fact that he introduced it with shalom and called himself greedy, that they were making a correlation that he was saying that Jews are greedy. Though, since he didn't specifically say that, I feel like that's that's something on the viewer if they lead that. That's the stereotype they're pushing, It's like walking down the street and you see a guy, a black guy, and he's walking near a store. And, another person nearby is talking about a recent theft. Now, if another person comes by listening and thinks, oh, there's a black guy near, and another person's talking about theft, I think they're being a little racist. They're, pushing the stereotype that, black people are criminals. No. That's not what he's doing. Turkey Tom always has these kind of intros. You would know if you watch his content. It changes from episode to episode. He also changes his name. He changed, Poultry Pedro and Chicken Chad, all sorts of shit. Like, he has multiple different gimmicks, and I think, me personally, based off watching this video, the reason why he, said shalom and, put his head on, a Jewish figure is because it said Israel in the video. That's all. It's not him perpetuating a stereotype. It's literally just him BSing. Alright.
Even longer, and because of this I've accumulated a galaxy brain level knowledge of the internet. I remember one of the biggest appeals for me for a while was that unlike TV, YouTube didn't have advertisements, and when it did, they weren't obnoxious. Whereas TV would have a 5-minute ad break every 15 minutes or so, YouTube had maybe one 30-second ad every other video. In fact, a large number of videos from smaller creators didn't even have advertisements, because YouTube didn't offer ads to be placed on just anyone's videos. A very small pool of YouTubers were given that privilege, and could collect money from ad revenue, including a few names that you may recognize, like
I know this isn't really a popular thing that people argue, but I have seen someone use it as a point against Turkey Tom, that because he had Onision in his video, just nonchalantly. Like, what the fuck? I know it's something I shouldn't even really address, but everyone on both sides is very nitpicky.
Fred and Smosh, some of the finest artists and talented filmmakers of our time. But as time has gone on, ads have become increasingly more prevalent on the site and on the internet in general, with companies realizing lots of people go here. In fact, more people are going here than watching TV. We should find some way to make money off of all these poor losers. YouTube opened up the partner program to a larger number of people, allowing thousands of people to make money off of these ads from the comfort of their own bedrooms with their shitty blue snowball microphones and 2015 laptop, accompanied by a cheap external monitor and a Logitech mouse. I, someone with 100,000 subscribers, would never do that. They were making their videos, getting their money, dancing. It was cool. Everyone liked it. Then, through a few rather unfortunate controversies, mostly involving our main man Felix.
A good number of people I've actually seen have argued that because he had Felix in here, he's also pushing that narrative further. And as Willie Mack said, these are the type of people that unironically think PewDiePie is a racist. But then there is a quarter of them that are like, well, at least PewDiePie apologized. We will talk about why Turkey Tom wouldn't apologize.
A number of large companies pulled out of YouTube's ads program for fear of having their product associated with content that could be seen as rather edgy or not ad-friendly. In a nutshell, they didn't want Coca-Cola to be advertised before a video where some gamer words were being used.
What a fucking...
This was mostly because news outlets reached out to advertisers and attempted to stir up controversy amongst the media community in an effort to harm PewDiePie and YouTube's bottom line, and presumably so that they could scrounge up a few extra clicks on their dying venues. Ads have been more scarce, and ad revenue has been consistently lower across the board over the past few years, and people just aren't making money.
You know what? Let me play this at 2 times the speed. We won't miss it. We won't miss shit if we do that. Let's see. Let's see 1.5. Let's see how that is.
Like they were back in 2015 and 2016. As a result of this shortage, a number of creators have decided to look for other ways to support themselves, hence the topic of today's video. You may be asking, Tom, isn't it...
Tom kind of talks like a fuckwad, so it's kind of hard when he's already sped up. 1.25, there we go.
less than advantageous for someone who wants to make money or have any success on YouTube to make a video criticizing the use of sponsors or making fun of them, because it will be extremely unlikely that any company will want to advertise on your videos now. Yes, it is. Is making money fun for me? I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's more fun to burn bridges with any chance of future success that I would have.
Okay, let me go back. You guys saw the part where Ben Shapiro was holding $1, right? That was another point used against him. People are actually upset because, and it's more of the political side, by the way. But like a lot of people are like, oh, he's racist because Ben is a Jew. So if a Jew is holding $1, it's like, no, Ben is a meme. He's a meme in like almost most communities. Like, who legit doesn't understand that Ben Shapiro is a meme? He even appeared on PewDiePie's channel for meme review. Wait. Strike that from the record. The people that wouldn't know are the ones that think PewDiePie is a racist or a Nazi. Because, hey, those people can't joke. Jokes harm people.
As a result of this shortage, a number of creators have decided to look for other ways to support themselves, hence the topic of today's video. Now you may be asking, Tom, isn't it less than advantageous for someone who wants to make money or have any success on YouTube to make a video criticizing the use of sponsors or making fun of them, because it will be extremely unlikely that any company will want to advertise on your videos now? Yes, it is.
And here's it, like, okay, it's an off point right here. It doesn't necessarily have to do with like D'Angelo, but there are people like upset with Tom is like, oh, so I should be feeling bad about myself for making money. That was a joke that he just made. He doesn't think anybody that uses ads on their videos or sponsors is a bad person. He just wants responsible ads. Like, you know, remember the BetterHelp situation? Remember how fucked up that was? More people just need to vet their ads. That's simply it. Or have it be relevant to their content. Like Cold Ones, for example. Cold Ones, I think, does it just right. You know, like, the ads they have on theirs, or the sponsors, is shirts, food-related products, and earbuds. And they're a podcast, so earbuds would fit with that. But if they started suddenly doing, like, Raid Shadow Legends, or even just, like, say it's a good game. Say a good game. It really wouldn't fit, you know? People would just be doing it just to do it. That's why I could see why some people are upset with, like, JonTron doing stuff like, you know, gaming sponsorships when he doesn't, you know, do gaming reviews anymore.
Making money fun for me? I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's more fun to burn bridges with any chance of future success that I would have. I'm sure that you guys have seen a number of creators taking advantage of the money to be made out here through a myriad of companies. One of the most common sponsors that I've seen lately is Honey, the web extension that is totally free and will let you save money for free.
It's Honey! Honey is a free browser add-on available on Google.
Websites are paying Honey.
So basically,
Honey is fucking bullshit. I got it, and I think it just worked out like 1 or 2 times, and now it's like, sign in with your Facebook. No. No, I don't want you to have more identity than you're already mining.
Honey, no. I'm not sure just how gullible people have become, but I tend to operate under the assumption that nothing is actually free. Generally speaking, if a company is offering free coupons for shopping online, and it involves installing some software of some kind in your computer, they're stealing your information and using it to market products to you, or they're selling it to other companies who will track the products you purchase and websites you visit and cater content to reflect that. Not to mention a decent amount of people that have used the product have talked about it online and how they basically received one $5 discount and were never able to save money with it again.
In case you don't know, Honey is a free browser extension that saves you money when you shop online.
Speaking of good old Shane, you may remember when he made an 8-part series about Jake Paul and talked extensively about the possibility that he was a sociopath, which furthered the process of making this term a buzzword that 14-year-old e-girls can use on Twitter whenever someone acts mildly insensitive. One of the most interesting things about the video, where he pushes a borderline fictitious psychological diagnosis from a woman who is by no means an expert on psychology, was when he showed for the company BetterHelp. This is something.
Alright, just to cut away, just to kind of add my own 2 cents. I hate how Shane is really abusing the word documentaries. It's rich guy vlogs. It's not a documentary. But he's documenting the events of his makeup line. That's a vlog. It's a video log. It's a vlog.
Something I really think is great, something I actually really believe in. So BetterHelp is a service and an app where you can get affordable and private online counseling whenever you want.
Yeah, I'm sure that you really do believe in that service, Shane. Big guy, big fella. I bet you really are a frequent user of the product, and that you're not pushing it to your potentially mentally ill fans in an effort to make money off of them. Oh wait, it was a scam and was product, and that you're not pushing it to your potentially mentally ill fans in an effort to make money off of them. Oh.
Now, you see, here's another point that I see a lot, like a fuck ton. He has Nicholas Fuentes in his video for a brief second as a little cutaway meme. As a fucking cutaway meme. I see people on Twitter saying, because you follow Nicholas Fuentes, because you had him in your video, you are a Nazi. No. He actually even actively, during the entire debacle that's going on, said he doesn't. No, wait. Ralph, his buddy, Ralph, said he didn't. And pretty much he just agreed with Ralph. The guy that was accusing him of being a Nicholas Fuentes supporter because you follow him. He's a retard. And he actually, that same guy actively, like, he stalks my Twitter and spams me, so it's actually kind of funny that, like, how easily that side of Twitter can be triggered.
Wait, it was a scam and was posing a huge danger to those who use it, hence the giant YouTube controversy around it.
So what's wrong with BetterHelp then? You can have online therapy without leaving your house. You can have therapy at home. That's great. That sounds almost too good to be true. Well, yes, because it is. With BetterHelp, they have attempted to mass produce therapy. They pride on having 4 million users. However, in their own terms of service, they acknowledge that if you are using this site, it is not a complete substitute for face-to-face examination.
And for some reason, this video was still up with 23 million views. Shane, big guy, homie, there's a YouTube editor. You can cut that part out of the video. You can pay one of your interns to do it. It's not hard.
I imagine a lot of, like, larger YouTubers that aren't, like, in commentary really don't even, I guess, utilize the features of, like, Studio much. This part is just me kind of thinking. But, like, the only people I really see that are very interested in, you know, improving the quality of their content from within and without, or from the outside and from within, are usually, like, from the commentator perspective, because they're the ones fighting, usually, with YouTube, and they're the ones with issues that they're always, you know, vocalizing. Whereas people like Markiplier, a gaming YouTuber, will do it ever so rarely when it's an actual, like, insanely serious situation. But those also people don't really put themselves in those kind of situations. They don't put themselves in front of the headlights, per se, so.
However, you would also delete all of your tweets shilling it and promoting it once again to a large audience of impressionable, underage fans. Not everyone is a black-pilled internet loser like me who doesn't trust giant YouTubers. It would maybe be wise to get rid of this big guy.
You know, he called himself black-pilled just then. And I'm thinking about, like, the tweet or the comments in his comment section. That's probably why people are calling him red-pilled and based as well. Because more to do with this segment, really. Now that I think about it. Not really much, you know, like, with H3 and all that. It could be that stuff, but I feel like it might be relating to this more. Unless it's the quote-unquote anti-Semitic ones.
Shane Dawson was also a guest on one of the worst podcasts ever, being Ethan Klein's H3 podcast.
Today's guest, the wonderful, prolific, hilarious, talented Shane Dawson.
Like Falters, I think H3 started off pretty well. They just went downhill, and then they just became yes men for whoever come on their show. And it shows.
Recently passed 12 million subscribers on your now main channel. Yes.
Ethan and Ela Klein are two members of the YouTube channel H3 Productions, as I'm sure most of you are already aware. For years, they were at the top of the YouTube chain, being pretty much universally liked, and despite a few mistakes along the way, they managed to maintain this image of being some of the most likable people on the platform for years. However, sometime at the end of last year, a number of their fans had become disenfranchised with the way that the H3 brand had gone, due to a few things that Ethan had done, which many had disapproved of. He had managed to divide his fan base into two groups, those who still supported Ethan and saw all the criticism being thrown towards him.
All right, let's pause it here for a second. Let me just ask the chat a question. And I'm going to slow down the video to normal speed again. All right. All right, guys. Well, that's the question after this, but pay close attention to everything Tom is saying right now. Pay very close attention. I'm going to quiz you.
Recently passed 12 million subscribers on your now main channel. Yes.
Ethan and Ela Klein are two members of the YouTube channel H3 Productions, as I'm sure most of you are already aware. For years, they were at the top of the YouTube chain, being pretty much universally liked, and despite a few mistakes along the way, they managed to maintain this image of being some of the most likable people on the platform for years. However, sometime at the end of last year, a number of their fans had become disenfranchised with the way that the H3 brand had gone, due to a few things that Ethan had done, which many had disapproved of. He had managed to divide his fan base into two groups, those who still supported Ethan, saw all the criticism being thrown towards him as some of nitpicking and menial complaints, and those who actively felt that Ethan had made a number of mistakes that needed to be acknowledged by the big man himself, especially considering that he could now be considered guilty of a number of the things that he used to criticize others for, and had abandoned most of his values once he got to the top. Without getting into a ton of specifics, it was pretty bad, but be sure to check out Gokanaru's video about the subject if it still interests you. While these videos seemingly snowballed into some of the biggest YouTube drama of last year, just a year later, they have seemingly managed to duck away from most of this criticism after a lengthy apology from Ethan.
Or people who were making videos about like all the things I mentioned, because yeah, it is all in here. Everything you guys have said bad about me and that you've noticed, all my bad personality traits and all that, it's all in here.
A bit of a regroup for the two in a lot of ways, and I was happy to see that they were doing better. In fact, I had plans to make a video about Ethan's sort of redemption arc because I appreciated him changing for the better a lot. I used to enjoy his videos and a lot of the contributions from him to the community as a whole, and I saw him as a force for good. So I thought, you know, it was neat to see him recognize his mistakes. That being said, almost nothing has changed in the past year, particularly in regards to the podcast. One of the biggest criticisms back in the day was that there were way too many sponsors on the show. Nowadays, he has cut down on sponsors for sure, but honestly, I don't think he needs them at all. The H3 podcast probably already makes close to 100K per episode, with the number of revenue streams from Twitch subscribers, Twitch ads, YouTube ads on the actual podcast, YouTube ads on the highlights that they post. They probably already make a good $50,000 per episode. I think that they could probably do without the sponsored messages. Let me guess, a lot of you don't believe me. Okay. They just purchased a $9 million home, and I'm willing to bet a good amount of their income is directly from the podcast. These guys are not the little wholesome YouTubers that we loved before. They are extremely wealthy celebrities with connections to Hollywood and the entertainment industry. However, they still manage to fuck up any interaction they have with someone who has a real audience. Not to mention the show is complete fucking garbage.
The movie is being slammed by most critics, yet
A lot of critics have reviewed it favorably.
wait,
It's
hold
a
on.
dangerous movie.
That's not true. I was on Rotten Tomatoes yesterday. It's got 69%. And families of the 2012 movie theater shooting in Aurora, where the guy like dressed up as Joker. Fucking dude.
No, he wasn't actually dressed up as the Joker.
Well, he dyed his hair. It wasn't during a Batman screening, and he like threw. It was nuts. You know what's funny about Elliot Rodriguez? He wasn't even that bad looking. It's like you're just a creep, bro.
It's Elliot Roger.
For someone who used to be a champion of small creators and taking down corporate YouTube, it sure is weird that Ethan has now become basically, well, corporate YouTube.
Whatever, fuck him.
With some of the serious stuff out of the way, I think it's best to talk about mobile game advertisements. The two most popular ones being Vikings, War of Clans, and Raid Shadow.
All right, guys. Quiz time. What Jewish-related topic did Tom brush up on while he was talking about H3H3? Put your answers in the chat. I'll actually give y'all a moment. Because, like, I already have my answer. I would just love to see y'all's. So, you know, because I see what I see. But maybe I'm ignorant, you know? Maybe I'm just ignorant. Maybe I don't understand the nuances of Tom's language. Nothing? Wow. I didn't even hear the word Jew. I didn't even hear the word Israel. I didn't hear shit. You know, I heard Tom criticizing a Jew. I didn't hear any criticisms about him being Jewish. Huh. Lol, Jews bad. I don't remember that being heard, but you know, well, we still got less than 8 minutes left. So, maybe he does say, lol, Jews bad.
Legends.
I'm just gonna give a big thank you to Vikings War of Clans for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for a beautiful free-to-play strategy RPG with that hard-to-find old-school feel we grew up with in the 90s and early 2000s, look no further because you've met your match.
I have seen so many people promoting these two games to the point where if I see...
I'm actually thinking about doing a Let's Play on Twitch with these games later on to just see exactly how shit they are.
someone doing an ad for them, I just click off the video and go watch something else. The worst part is that people actually pretend to be interested in them. They pretend like they play these games and say things like, you can download this game and play it with me. I can say with 1000% confidence that they will play that game once and never ever play it again. The bald fucker Matthew Santoro did an epic ad for Raid Shadow Legends.
Hey friends, today's video is sponsored by the brand new mobile game Raid Shadow Legends,
which is the first minute of his 12-minute video about 50 amazing facts to blow your mind.
Raid is a brand new collection RPG game with an amazing storyline, awesome 3D graphics, giant boss fights, and more than 400 champions for you to collect and personally customize. Raid's graphics and storyline are comparable to AAA console releases, but the game is free to play, and it's got an almost perfect score on the Play Store.
Are you really going to even try to pretend that this is the game of the century? Do you expect me to take it from your dumb, bald, plagiarizing fucking mouth that Raid Shadow Legends is just the most amazing experience ever? And just for the meme, I decided that I would download this game and play it, and massive surprise, it is just as dog shit as I had anticipated. And no, the graphics are not on par with most AAA releases.
This game's great if you like to choose your own playstyle. Want to use diplomacy and teamwork to get ahead? Go on. Want to dominate and destroy cities or build a badass fortress? That works too.
You can just tell that he's trying his best to pretend like he cares about Vikings War of Clans, but like just behind his eyes you can see that he's just ready to die. Oh, look, it's my favorite developer, Plarium.
No, God!
Here we are.
No, God, please!
The USS Liberty incident was an attack on the United States Navy technical research ship, Liberty, by Israel Air Force jet fighter aircraft and Israeli Navy motor torpedo boats on 8th of June, 1967. So you know what he's making the comparison to? I see a lot of people being like, he said Israeli and then put the USS Liberty incident in here. I think that's just him being random, After Hours might say. I think that's just him, you know, just being edgy, they also might say. I think that might be him being racist, D'Angelo might say. Do you know what this is? He's calling these games war crimes. He's calling them tragedies. That's the joke. Talking about an incident by the by Israel is not racist. It's just not. You're talking about a historical event. You're not saying that the event in itself was funny. You're making the comparison that this event And these games are all tragedies. I have not heard a single person make that point yet. Not one person as I have seen personally has said that. That's the joke. There's not much guessing to be involved there. He's practically just calling the game in itself another war crime. An extreme, sure. But racist? Far from it. What are fucking people thinking? There are Jews in Israel, thus, racist. He's racist.
Please, no! No!
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night. I can...
And he put Sopranos in here, you know why? To emphasize on A. These games are tragedies. These games are awful. And they come from Israel. Thus, it's another crime, a friendly fire on us from Israel. They're making us bleed again. And B, he loves Sopranos. If you ever talk to Turkey Tom or hear him, stand over anything, it's fucking Sopranos.
Feel my leg.
Developer of such great games as Soldiers Inc., Sparta, War of Empires, the greatest games that the App Store has to offer. I mean, hell, just look at some of the great customer reviews from the review section of Vikings, War of Clans.
A spreadsheet would be more entertaining than this game. Train troops you never see, send them out to fight, but you don't get to control or interact with the fight. All you do is make numbers bigger.
Now, I don't think there's anything else Jewish related in the rest of this video. But for the sake of kind of disproving the claim of, he said, lol, Jews bad, or something along those lines, we'll watch it. Because fuck it, why not, might as well try to stump these, false allegations together by just actually watching it. We'll do what the people are accusing him, aren't doing. We're going to watch the subject matter and come to an opinion ourselves.
To get bigger numbers. Truly awful game.
Like other reviewers say, it's basically pay to win. If you're halfway a decent looking female, don't connect your Facebook where it's just a bunch of freaks messaging you endlessly into real life characters.
They take your money. If their games glitch, they deny it. Their server is too small for the amount of people they have. Myself and numerous others play the game, and because of the issues they have, we have lost lots of money and items. Spent weeks working on a hat of swales, and because of a glitch in game, it sent me to a different screen. And when it did, it dismantled. This person contacted support and got basically warning, don't spend your money if you play, you're wasting it.
Wait, but guys, come on. Surely Raid Shadow Legends is a better game. I mean, come on, it has the word legend in the title.
This game is run by horrible people who treat their players like trash. I'm writing this review to give players an idea of what Plarium does to their player base. They release a new limited time legendary fusion but put up a massive paywall to force players to spend money.
This has been a horrible experience so far.
This game is such a ripoff. I've spent over $300 on this game and nothing good came out of it. It's way overpriced because you never get anything good or worth your money. I'm very disappointed. I would honestly like my money back from this game since they have totally ripped me off.
I'll go a little quiet for a minute.
Middle finger.
Bro, that is insane! How could Raid Shadow Legends be anything less than fucking superb? There are better sponsors in this that are more relevant to your audience that you can use, When you have millions of subscribers, sponsors will be reaching out to you every day. You can easily afford to get a better company to show in your video. And if you want to see a way to do one of these sponsorships right, Internet Historian did a pretty funny ad for Raid where he didn't even pretend to care about the company and just made one of the most objectively awful endorsements that a company could have ever made. I thought it was hilarious. I enjoyed it a lot. I guess to wrap up this video, I'd like to say a few things. A few bows to tie on this, this epic video of mine. There's nothing wrong with wanting money from your videos. They can take hours and hours to make, and I definitely can't blame anyone who wants to use YouTube as a means to make money. Ad revenue certainly doesn't pay me enough to make a living, but it's not like it's a huge concern for me anyway, as I have a job and I'm like 9 years old. Realistically, we're not all playing the same game here. Some people make videos for fun. Some people make videos because it's their living. Some people do a little bit of both, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. However, I would appreciate if some of these massive YouTubers would...
Actually... Alright, if you watched the D'Angelo response, and I know we haven't watched it together yet, but he mentions that he didn't know Turkey Tom's age before he made this video, or these allegations. My apologies. I'll correct myself there. But he said he didn't know Turkey Tom's age before he made these allegations. But Turkey Tom made the passing joke that he's like 9 years old, so he could either be emphasizing on the joke that he is actually relatively young, or he's insanely old. And going by his tone of voice, it's, fairly safe to assume that he is pretty fucking young. And the more I think about it, D'Angelo was focusing on the nuances, like the nuances of these imagery, He was hyper-focused, He's hyper-focused, trying to come to the reasoning, to the conclusion, and thinking about the symbolism these images might have. But he didn't, use that same hyper, the hyper-intelligence, hyper-thought, to when Tom said that. So my theory is, I don't even think he watched the full video.
Would vet their sponsors better, or at least be sponsored by a product that is actually of quality, rather than just reading through some dumb list of talking points and pretending to care about a product. I remember very vividly when I was at just around 10,000 subscribers, the people from the Amino app tried to get me to put an ad for them on my video. I had a little back and forth with them over email, but eventually I just stopped responding because I realized that I had no interest in their gimmicky, stupid app, and I wasn't willing to push it onto my subscribers. Do my fans really have an intense interest in the Amino app? I certainly do not.
Yeah,
all that being said, there are some companies that provide YouTube sponsorships that seem genuinely good. I've never spent the money to purchase the products from Dollar Shave Club personally, but from some of the sponsorships that I've seen and things that I've heard about them, it looks like a genuinely good product. I probably wouldn't put it in my videos because I don't care about shaving products and they have nothing to do with my channel or what I talk about. Not to mention a lot of...
He's pretty much, just hitting puberty. It's not like they would, be too relevant to him, to be fair.
My audience probably has never seen a single hair sprout out of their faces, but it looks like it's not a bad deal for the price, and I don't mind seeing YouTubers push it. But a lot of the products that YouTubers will push will just be downright useless, and I feel like they know it. A little while back, everyone's favorite ripped Ginger, the gamer from Mars, offered to give me a sponsorship with Raid Shadow Legends, and, it would be quite a bit of money, and I can't lie, I almost did it, mostly because the coupon code would be degenerate. Ultimately,
he has more integrity than me. I would have taken it. But anyway, before we continue on, the video is almost done. If you would like to, call in and, give your 2 cents on the video and the topic at hand in itself, feel free to join the Discord in the description link on the stream itself. And join the callers room and I'll pull you in.
Ultimately, I just couldn't go
after the video
through with it. Maybe I'm just a stubborn loser, but whatever the case, I didn't take the offer. The only kind of sponsorships I would be willing to do would be for my own merch, which is barely a sponsorship at all. Or I would be willing to advertise one of those anime girl body pillow companies.
Oh, no.
You guys don't even have to send me your money. I'll just promote your awful products for the low price of some free epic anime pillows. This is less of a joke than I'd like it to be. Overall, I've always just been really against making my videos feel more corporate or official. I never want them to seem like you're just watching television because I hate TV. As much as YouTube hates it and is trying to get rid of it, YouTube was originally an escape from television and mainstream media. A place where any old kid could start up a channel and organically grow an audience to cater to a niche group. I don't want to make videos for any old schmuck. I want to make videos for people like me, and I certainly don't want to insert a minute-long ad that
Nazis! He wants to make videos for fellow Nazis! Got him! Found the evidence!
Completely breaks the flow of my video, just in exchange for like $1,000. It's just not worth it. So thanks so much to all of you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I enjoyed making it. Be sure to leave a comment down below telling me if you liked it or didn't like it, and follow my friend who is not me on Twitter. I've been Turkey Tom, and until next time, leave me alone.
Waiting to the very last second. Okay, we watched the entire video. We didn't skip a single second. We watched it to the end of the outro as well. Not at one point did he say, lol, Jews bad. And we did it together, so it's not like, hey. It's not like I doctored it. It's not like it's just me. Maybe I misinterpreted it. 4 people watching right now. 4 people did not hear lol, Jews are bad. But you know what? Let's be even more accurate. Alright, see, this number is 69,078 views. So 69,077 people didn't hear lol, Jews bad. Alright, let's see. See if anybody's in callers. Alright, we'll do one person at a time. Falters, you're live. Oh, fuck, you're silent. Let me raise you up. Alright, that's as high as I'm getting you. You gonna call him a retard? I'll take the damage. Yeah, look at the stream. I'll show you exactly how he watched the video, and a lot of YouTubers do this, and it irritates the fuck out of me.
Hello, my best thing to hide and have very small.
He just rapidly hits the right arrow and skips every few seconds to get the general gist, while skipping so many, you know, nuances and all that. And you know what? You don't need a lot of nuances to understand this isn't bashing Jewish people. I mean, he has 100K plus. I'd say he's big. Here's the thing. I've talked with a lot of people on the other side, and they say it's because he plays a character a lot of the time is the reason why he brings up numbers. And I would argue against that, just because, like, why would you delve into a serious topic like this, treat it like a joke, treat allegations like a joke? You know, this is a part of his personality. How do you know him? You don't actually know him. It's fair to assume by somebody going to expose somebody on Thanksgiving and it also being a child in which he heavily ignored. One second, you can't hear falters. Let me see. Yeah, you are really quiet. Let's see.
People to be consistent on their like logistics and like reasoning and everything, because like constantly throughout the video he's like fucking trying to like say he's a racist but then not racist and then racist not racist, or like, you know, fucking you know, it's
and we'll definitely get into that. I got all the bookmarks with his tweets and Tom's tweets to really kind of emphasize. And we'll go back to them during the response after we read them, of course. But,
Gotcha.
yeah. So, you got anything else that you'd like to add before I bring somebody else in?
I just want to say he's black. Yeah.
Black! If I have any racist comments in my section, it's because of Falters and his racist imagery! Alright, thanks for coming on, Falters.
Yeah, no problem.
Alright, well, I was about to pull in, Mr. Edward, but he kind of dipped out for a second. Let me pull in Coyote. Coyote, you're live.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, so what are your thoughts on the situation?
I think this whole situation is just a giant fucking clusterfuck, to be honest.
Oh, yeah, do tell.
No, it's absolutely fucking asinine. Like, I was ignoring it at first, mostly because it was just like, whatever, it's a couple of YouTubers having a bit of a tiff, that's fucking fine. But then once all like those DMs started fucking leaking, especially on Thanksgiving, it's just like, okay, hold on now. Let's reevaluate where this is, because now people are starting to actually like, I felt like before when he was just sort of like, because D'Angelo did make a response, and I did agree with a lot of the things that he said. I kind of agreed with a lot of the ways that he was presenting himself in that, which is true. Like, he wasn't actually trying to say Tom was like a Nazi or anything. That was something I think a lot of people got out of that, a bit unfairly maybe, including myself. I kind of interpret his argument that way. But the problem I'm having now is mostly with sort of the just Twitter fucking mob that are running roughshod and just being like, oh, Tom's a fucking racist because this, that, and the other. And it's just like, no, he's an edgy teenager who's just making edgy jokes on YouTube, as teenagers will do, you know? It's like, I don't have as much a problem with D'Angelo anymore as I have a problem with just the people who have not just but like latched on to what he was saying, but taken it to a new level, trying to actively spread he's a racist, he's a Nazi, he's blah, blah, blah. If anything bad happens to him, he did it to himself. It's like, bro, he's a fucking teenager. Calm down.
I think the only two things during his response, and I will address that, that I agreed with personally, is the fact of what his opinion on was with free speech, which kind of contradicts his actions, of course. But he's also in his right to judge, you know, like it is somebody else's right to, you know, actually say whatever. So I agree with that. But it's kind of like him sprinkling just, you know, common sense and facts in there to kind of make himself more credible, whereas he did contradict himself a lot, backpedal, and downplay a lot of his actions.
Well, I mean, if you just look at the tweets, like as he made them, you know, since he did read them off out loud, I can kind of, even if I would disagree with the way he's presenting himself in a lot of those, which he did admit, like, he would have handled it a lot better if he had known Tom's age at the time. I'm going to give him that benefit of the doubt because Tom does kind of have one of those voices.
Here's the thing, though. Like, in the video that he was, you know, hyper-analyzing, you know, Tom did kind of emphasize that he was young or maybe insanely old, but we all know that he doesn't really sound that old. So, if he's emphasizing that he's young and D'Angelo's, you know, analyzing this video, and he can find this imagery and then interpret it this way, then why couldn't he do the same with that one joke in particular?
I mean, at that point, wait, which joke in particular?
Where Turkey Tom refers to himself as a 9-year-old.
I'm not here to jump to D'Angelo's defense.
No, I get you.
I'm just saying most of my point of contention now is with the people who are taking the narrative that got spun and taking it to the next level.
No,
despite
I agree.
The fact that even D'Angelo himself has said that's not what I was saying, and I'm still not saying that. You know?
Oh yeah, I agree. That's why earlier I said there's exaggerations on both sides.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, even I was, you know, misinterpreting a lot of the shit before. Like, I think even I tweeted out that's trying to imply that D'Angelo's calling him a Nazi, which I'll admit that was not true. I thought it was at the time. I must have jumped the gun. But the thing is, most people are still kind of jumping the gun on either side, and that's the problem. Like, there's a lot of people who are just like, it feels like, I guess the problem is just that there's a fuck ton of people right now who are trying to say, well, this person is, like, Tom's a fucking Nazi. Tom is, and initially D'Angelo wasn't saying that, but now people still fucking are, which is a problem in my opinion.
Here's the thing with an opinion I have on content creators is if you create a misconception with like a message or your video, you can easily just clear it up, you know? And a lot of his audience, as we can see, think of Turkey Tom as an anti-Semite, as a, you know, and he actively saw this as well, and he, you know, made a response to it, obviously, in his video. But the only time I saw him really tackle on, you know, that is through a single replay on his community tab on YouTube, which doesn't alert the rest of his audience like it does on Twitter. So why couldn't he do that same thing on Twitter? It's because the ball was in his court, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, he should have. But the thing that I've been noticing is more people seem to be latching on to the fact that, you know, Tom said the, you know, N-word in DMs. Like, I think that's mostly what I've been seeing recently. That's what people are really latching on to, which seems very strange to me because it wasn't what the entire thing started off of, and it was mostly just sort of a haha fuck you, you know, once it had already gotten underway, you know. I'm sorry, I'm stumbling over words a little bit, but
That's
that
fine.
was kind of just like a haha fuck you, I was right, you know, once everything got underway, like that's the reason that really got pointed out. And it's weird that most people are now trying to latch onto him saying the N-word one fucking time, and like they're specifically pointing out the DMs like that were on the group chat on Twitter, and it seems like that's a really strange reason, like irrespective of everything else, why was that what broke the camel's back? Why was this what objectively made him a Nazi? You know, why is this the one objective piece of evidence that you're just like, there's your smoking gun? It's like, no, that's a direct message in a group chat that was clearly among his friends. Like, you can see the fucking name under his fucking, you know, his avatar, so it was clearly a group chat on Twitter. He was there, so he wasn't like blocked by anybody. He wasn't removed. These were people who wanted him there. So why is that the smoking gun? This obviously, based on those things, we can tell this was not a hateful context. It was not meant to be a derogatory, hatefully charged remark towards anybody. It was just an edgy joke amongst his peers. So how has this become everyone's smoking gun is my question.
A lot of his community actually isn't a commentary-based community. It's, I believe it derived originally from art-based stuff and makeup community. Then it now presently is, you know, commentary. So his audience is in a vast majority less prone to edgier content in itself, and is, you know, less okay with the idea of, you know, anybody else other than black people saying that. And I'm not excusing that, of course. I'm kind of just adding a bit of exposition to why you almost see no replies from his stands or his fans or his viewers that are in support of anything else other than D'Angelo. It's because they're ignorant to, you know, things outside of their communities.
Well, the thing is, though, Tom's community, though, even then, it mostly is commentary based, because if you start looking where he started gaining his traction, one of the first real points where his channel got really pushed was, you know, when Quentin Reviews shouted him out at one point. I think Tom had less than 5,000 subscribers at the time.
I was referring to D'Angelo.
10K. Oh, D'Angelo. Okay, I thought you meant Tom.
No, Tom has been relatively commentary based for the longest time. So of course his comments were always gonna, in his videos are always gonna be edgy, and his viewers are gonna be on the more edgier side. But D'Angelo, he had a more innocent and I guess softer background, in which now it's in the prickly commentary field, where I guess common decency, like saying the N-word, is...
And personally, I understand where you're coming from. I guess personally I find that a little bit harder to buy, because I myself kind of, you know, on Twitter started building my audience more off of artwork as well. And also I've been, for the traction that I've gotten on YouTube, it's because I've been shouted out by, you know, people like Nani as well, like other artists who also do commentary and stuff like that. So I find that a little harder to buy, because I myself am very edgy in my own content, and it really hasn't shown any, you know, negative sort of connotations for my channel. Like, nobody's really gotten that pissed off about things I've said in my videos, when, even though I'm very open about calling people, like, if I think someone's being stupid, I'll outright call them retarded. I'll call something autistic if I want to.
And that's a surprising thing, but that's also that's not a normal thing, though, because, like, I see in a lot of art communities that they are relatively sensitive to all sorts of things, and that's fine. It's fine that if you take issue with what Tom said, but that's what D'Angelo grew his base audience from. He grew it from the art, and then he went to the makeup community, which everybody over there is prim and proper, surface level, and backstabby underneath. And then he moved to commentary.
I mean, I guess it's probably a little bit different as well, because he has such a so much larger of an audience. I mean, it's probably a lot. There's probably a lot of variables to throw in. I guess it's just still personally, like on my end, it's like it's harder for me to get behind that position of like that's why that would be a thing. I guess.
I don't know if he's gay, but I also think if he is,
Who said he's gay?
well, I'm gonna add it into. Well, After Hours, I heard it pretty
No,
prevalently.
you brought that in yourself. I didn't.
But
bring
wait,
that
wait,
to
wait,
people.
but wait. Here's what I'm bringing in though. But the fact that like he might be gay, but I don't know if he is gay. But if he is gay, then that also might, add into the sensitivity of his fan base as well. Because if he is gay, then it would be more known around his fans, and his fans would be more LGBTQ+, And those people have very low tolerance for things outside of their communities.
That's a really rash generalization because even then, a large number of my followers on Twitter and on YouTube are also LGBTQ+.
I'm not saying it's all of them. I'm saying a good bit of them are.
Yeah. I'm gonna just move past that one. I don't want to touch this conversation.
It's fine. It's fine.
That conversation seems like a bad direction to go with this.
And here's the thing: I wouldn't be saying it if if a good number of the ones in that community didn't say that themselves. And I have seen it, and it's, there's radical behavior in a lot of communities, but it's pretty apparent, especially with a lot of mainstream media, that people in those communities, I shouldn't say those communities because there's so many, I guess, sub-communities in the LGBTQ+, but if there is the community that is more radicalized and they have a name, I just don't know the name. But we all see that it's pretty relevant that a lot of them are very sensitive for their matters, for the subjects around them. And you know what? If you are sensitive to your, community, that's fine. And honestly, if they are sensitive, and they are sensitive to the fact that, the N-word is being used, they're in their right. Because that's their opinion. They're allowed to have that opinion. And it's also... it's not a bad thing to be called sensitive.
I know it's not, and I'm not saying that it's not the right to be offended by Tom saying those things. I'm saying though, saying that somebody is objectively a racist for saying a word behind closed doors.
Oh, I agree.
Amongst their friends, that's entirely too. That's just a fucking reach in my opinion.
Oh, I agree, and it really depends on person to person on how they take it. And
yeah, and it's also just the fact that we don't even know the messages that came before that or after. We have zero context outside this one sentence. It's like taking basically just the worst possible picture you could of anything, and then just hyper focusing it on one aspect, just to make it so that you don't know anything else that's happening. So let's just say for the sake of argument, let's throw out a situation. Let's say that you're in the middle of a fucking riot. You know what? This is a weird fucking. I don't know how I'm gonna break this down. Let's but what I mean, this is getting too busy. This is getting too fucking busy. But what I mean is just that they hyper focus to one sentence. We have no context outside that sentence, and that's all we have. And they're trying to tailor. This man is a Nazi. He's a racist. Blah blah blah. This, that, and the other. It's like, no. You see a sentence, probably an edgy joke based on what we can tell, a group chat that he's clearly welcome in. So this is probably just an edgy joke. And most people are saying why would you give him the benefit of the doubt, blah, blah, blah. And it's because I'm more comfortable giving someone the benefit of the doubt and not just ruining their life off of one sentence.
Oh, yeah. One conversation I had in private was, but yeah, even behind closed doors, why would he say that? I was like, for one, he's a boy. Behind closed doors, we are so much filthier in reality. And it's not like all boys say the N-word. For example, my upbringing, I wasn't allowed to cuss. So when I was behind closed doors and, in the privacy of friends and all that, I cussed a lot. I said fuck like crazy. Fuck, fuckity, fuck. That was me pretty much. And it could be the same way with Tom. He might have a really nice home and nice upbringing, and he might just find the humor in the shock. And and I completely agree. And I've argued that as well, that, we don't know the other side. because honestly, that kind of stuff, if I was behind closed doors and I was saying fuckity fuck 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 as a kid, it was to somebody I trust. It was to somebody that was probably saying fuckity fuck 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 back at me, you know, and we were laughing about it. So most definitely the person that he was talking to was either egging that kind of behavior on by laughing about, you know, the jokes or other stereotypes of other race and blah blah blah, or he was saying it too.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I'm a little bit out of it today.
That's cool.
So, I'm sorry. Do you mind repeating what you just said?
Just repeat all that. Fucking it, fuck, fuck, fucking it, fuck.
Yeah, yeah. No, sorry. I got sucked into a Twitter argument. You seem to be getting way too many of those. But
hey, I'll just let you rewatch the VOD. I appreciate you being on, Coyote. I'll do callers again after I finish the second segment if you want to hop back on and give your extra commentary.
All right.
All right. Peace. All right. That was pretty fun. I like Coyote. He actually, he's one of the people that I don't have to worry about being a yes man to things, and he has his own, opinions that he believes in and is pretty faithful to. So, all right, let's see. All right, now let's get into the tweets. Let me pull up my bookmarks. Bookity, bookity, bookmarks. All right, let's fade that chat away. Let's Thanos the chat. Or not the chat, but the screen. There we go. All right, let's bring up these bookmarks. We're going to try to go in chronological order as much as possible. If they're not exactly in order, then, well, fuck me, all right? I did as I tried. Okay, let's see. Let's go to, all right, we'll go to how it began. So, the YouTuber Turkey Tom at Zaptai, way to rat him out, bitch, threw a bunch of anti-Semitic imagery in his latest video, and it resulted in a comment section full of anti-Semitism. Wow! Wow! Remember the H3H3 meme? Wow! If you have to rely on racism for YouTube engagement, A, accept that your content is shit, and B, go fuck yourself. Alright, later on, you're gonna see exactly how he downplayed this. Like, if we watch the video all together, if you have to rely on racism for YouTube engagement, did he at any point during the video that we all watched together say that he wanted anybody to respond with their views on anti-Semitism, or did he at any point actually make an outright anti-Semitic joke? No, he didn't. And B, go fuck yourself. In his response, we see that he's real chill, real mellow, acting like everybody else is the triggered one, He came into this hostile. How can he, of all people, pretend that he didn't come into this headstrong like a bull? And here, I have a pretty strong issue with this, because, like, when people tend to post examples of, screenshots of, like, comment sections and all that, they oftentimes will do it in pieces, because there isn't a whole lot, and there's not a whole lot to really go off of. If we go to Turkey Tom's comment section, we wouldn't see them nearly this consistent. Damn, Tom is becoming super red-pilled and epic. Didn't realize being red-pilled mean you're a Nazi. I thought that was a meme of slang that the kiddos used. Because, honestly, it's pretty stupid, honestly. The eternal Jew strikes again. Okay, I think that's in reference to H3H3 and them not dying. If you want to say that's, anti-Semitic. I personally would argue against, that comment being anti-Semitic. It's dumb for sure, yeah. But, what? Also, the eternal Jew strikes again. It's just a dumb joke. Like, if every joke relating to a specific race is racist, then man, we're gonna be closed off as a society in 10 years. Ethan Klein and his Israeli wife make a lot of money and compromises on their ideals for more money and lie about, I wonder what those two in common. I would say that one probably might be a bit anti-Semitic. But, nah, like, it's, okay, there we go. There's one that just actually might be. I wonder why HRH started spewing the same MSM talking points. Again, you mentioned H3H3. Tom is more blatantly anti-Semitic than usual, and I'm loving it. Now, you remember at the very beginning of his video where it said, he's an anti-Semite and a racist, get rid of him. That little meme? I feel like Tom, put that in there for the sole sake of, the thin-skinned people, the wet paper thin people reacting to him saying shalom and putting his head on the Jewish picture, and maybe him, talking about Israeli later on in the video. I think that's exactly where this comment is coming from, and I think it's just being as satirical and exaggerative as Tom was being. I think this comment is being even more satirical and just, it's stupid. Looks like Tom here took the red pill on our merchant friends. Merchant friends. If you think the word merchant friends is referring to Jews, that's on you, buddy. Because the merchant friends was regarding YouTubers. So honestly, a lot of these comments together aren't even anti-Semitic. And, as I said earlier, we see normal people, when they make an example, break it up into like 4 pictures because, you can upload up to 4 pictures to Twitter in one post. But he did it pretty selectively and placed them very neatly, one after another like this, to kind of make it seem more consistent. And a lot of his fans believe it to be more consistent. But it's not. Alright, let's see. Society. Alright, now let's go to the next one, which is Turkey Tom's response. I am not an anti-Semite, and there was no anti-Semitic imagery in my video. Okay, fair response. A lot of people didn't believe it because of how D'Angelo presented this. I would even go as far to say that this is a manipulation of evidence. But that's me. If you disagree, that's fine. But that's what I personally believe. Alright, let's see. And then D'Angelo, the very next day, I'm skipping a lot of, outside YouTuber responses, of course. That's why this is going to go so much quicker. Plus, honestly, the only opinion that matters is Turkey Tom's and D'Angelo's in this situation. Our opinions don't matter nearly as much as theirs. I could have went to the D'Angelo route and went, the only opinion that matters is me. But unlike him, I'm not going to treat this situation like a joke. And I feel like that's a lot of courtesy from someone outside it. Whereas he's directly in it, and he's treating it like a joke. Because he's an asshole. All right. Happy Thanksgiving. We're eating turkey, Tom. At Zepti. He thought we wouldn't be able to see his racism through the thin veil of comedy. Meanwhile, he's doing this in everyday conversation. So allow me to repeat from yesterday when you tried to gaslight me. Go fuck yourself. My name is gonna be N-word. I hate N-word. Well, eventually I'll call someone an N-word too many times, or I'll bully someone enough. I doubt you'll hate me. N-word, don't talk. They say chicken and a win. Don't pretend like it's something for your fans. LOL. It's just a tip jar for Jews with deep pockets. Now, I initially made the argument of, wow, you're saying this is his everyday conversation, but the evidence that you provide is nearly a year old. Interesting. That you would claim he's like this in everyday conversation, but using really old examples. If he's like this in everyday conversation, couldn't you maybe get something from today? Yesterday? A week ago? 2 weeks ago? A month ago? No. Almost a year. And to kind of give a bit of fair context from both sides, listening to Shot from the Point, Tommy, based on what he says, Tom is the same kind of guy. Cool. Neat. Is he a racist? No. He's a dumb kid. Dumb kids say dumb kid things. I think we've already established and beaten that point down, so. And then D'Angelo further goes, your friend group is fucked. You're not as smart as you think, and weaponized memes aren't as clever as you think. So maybe find some new material for your next video script. Sincerely, the fag. And then these people say, weaponized memes can work wonders. True. I don't know what to make, though. I have no information on the fag. His name is D'Angelo Wallace. Dangle no Wallace. But, honestly, like, if he is gay, I could see why he would take offense to this. But he's spewing a false narrative. He doesn't know these people. He doesn't know their relation to Tom. These are just people in Tom's server, you know? Your friend group is fucked. So, by him saying this, it's like him painting a false image to all the people defending him. Because who else would defend him other than degenerates like this? So everybody else's opinions is invalid. Tom's friend group is fucked based on these randoms that he's clearly friends with in D'Angelo's eyes. Not banal assumptions. They are, without a doubt, his buddies. Just because they're in his server. If you're like a decent sized YouTuber and you have a server, you don't look at your chat. You just don't. Unless you hate yourself. Because that shit is, whoa, it's like a running faucet. Alright, let's see. Then Aiden says, I know I said I wouldn't touch on other YouTubers' shit, but I feel like this is a pretty important one. Tom has repeatedly acknowledged that he's made mistakes in his past. He was 15, for fuck's sake. He's actively growing and maturing. That's all I'll read on that one. And it's true. And you can follow that up with, he did it in this situation. He owned up to it. He didn't apologize because, well, we'll go into that in a moment. I think there's a few more opinions that matter, such as Tipster, Boblax, and Nick Diorio, because D'Angelo decided to bring them up in his video. Now their opinions have become relevant. We'll talk about those opinions, the ones that were presented in the response video. We're not going to go deep diving and looking for absolutely every single opinion, because I know their opinions. I share it. I can make the same arguments. All right, let's see. It's not like it was years ago. He was 15. He was 15. So it's okay if he was 12, but not 15? Okay. That's just the dumb argument. Saying the N-word does not make you racist was his response to that. And I agree. It doesn't. You could argue it's a racist act, sure. But it doesn't make you a racist. Alright, let's see. And then he later says in his own, I'm edgy. Probably too edgy. But I'm not racist, lol. Even D'Angelo agrees. Hey, good on him. Now that he publicly said that, that's good. Good on D'Angelo for publicly acknowledging that in his response video. Alright, now here's a thread. And we will talk about Nicholas's response on this one because it's D'Angelo responded to it, of course. Now, you unpinned my comment from your YouTube video on your 16K sub channel? Ow. And that's a response to Nicholas going, I just unpinned this and y'all can shove it up your ass. You're just as much of a degenerate as Alex. And that was from D'Angelo commenting, I'm Alex can murder someone at this point, and his stance would say people who criticize him are just looking for clout. Pretty similar parallel, huh? Though I could understand him not being as interactive with his stands as, I guess, a common viewer or the people fighting this issue. They don't see how toxic they really are. The point is that you're the same fucking scum that you accused I'm Alex of being, Tom says. Someone that I clearly knew and trusted in confidence sent you those screenshots. And instead of DMing me and asking me if I was some sort of racist, they sent it to you. The truth is, you have no integrity over this. It's no secret that I'm edgy on the internet, or that I say shit ironically all of the time. I was literally suspended on Twitter for saying something about women. You don't give a fuck about integrity. You don't care about racism. This is about you outing the big, bad, racist, Nazi Turkey Tom and collecting your fucking Twitter likes off of it. So you know what? Fuck you. I'm not playing your little fucking game where I apologize for being an awful racist guy. I appreciate the phone calls to my house, guys. Really cool of you. And Turkey Tom did get harassed from at his house on Thanksgiving. This is where it all happened. On Thanksgiving. Now, and this is one of the points I was making when I was talking to Coyote earlier. This is him downplaying, D'Angelo downplaying himself. Because later on, he doesn't even talk, or he does talk about it being on Thanksgiving, but he treats it like, oh, you know, it doesn't take much to make a tweet. You're not thinking about the nuances and the repercussions of everything that's happening. What Tom said in the DMs isn't actively affecting anybody's lives. What you did on Thanksgiving actively affected his life on Thanksgiving. Alright, let's see. Alright, skip that. Well, actually, we won't skip that because it's one of D'Angelo's statements on, Damn it, I didn't want to read that. It's so fucking long. Alright, we'll read it. Fuck. Alright. I think there's a few more people's opinions to matter. Oh, wait, I read that. Now their opinions have become relevant. Here's how it went. Keep in mind that I'm telling the story in bias to myself, because personally I believe I'm right. But basically, I clicked into Turkey Tom's latest video, search Turkey Tom on YouTube, and watch his latest video if you want, full context. The video had a bunch of jokes about Israel and Jewish people and money. Okay, didn't realize money was anti-Semitic. I get it fits with a stereotype, but in itself, that's other things you listed. Money in itself isn't anti-Semitic, but okay. And a bunch is also an exaggeration. One of him saying shalom. One of him putting his head on a Jewish guy, like he always does, literally in every video with any people in general. And what else? Oh, he said Israel, and he compared the U.S. He compared a tragedy to an awful game, emphasizing the point that game's a tragedy in itself from Israel. Oy, alright. The video had a bunch of jokes about Israel, Jewish people, and money, and there was a bunch of comments in the section from red-pilled and based people literally congratulating him on his anti-Semitism. Again, bunch is an exaggeration, and really? People were congratulating him? I don't think I even saw one congratulations. I saw one that was, commenting on H3H3 that was, quite possibly anti-Semitic. Hey, but the others, like, no. That was them making, jokes in reference of other jokes. Anyway. So I screenshotted them, compiled them, and posted them calling him out for pandering to anti-Semites for more engagement, which is an allegation because you have no proof. To which he replied, I'm not an anti-Semite. I've never posted anti-Semitic imagery. And then Nicholas Diorio, Mumkey Jones, and a couple of other people I've actually watched chimed in pretty much dismissing the content as just jokes. And you know what? I stand by what I said. If you pander to that edgy hee Jews bad crowd with your comedy, that's what you're going to get in your comment section. But watch the video, read the comment section, and read the tweets if you care. You came up with a totally different understanding, and that's quite alright with me. At the end of the day, I don't have blatant racism in my comment section. Right now. And he does, so I just feel like I'm in the right by default, lol. I said Justin Wang, but I meant Nicholas Diorio. Justin would never. Alright. You realize that the reason why he also probably doesn't have that kind of stuff in his comment sections is you can filter that out. Like, he's black, he's gay, so you could put like words, blacklisted words like N-word or faggot, and people, their comments wouldn't come up. You can ban words. And if you are a gay person, I can fully understand why you would do that. If you're a black person, I can fully understand why you would do that. If you're any demographic and there's a slur regarding you, I could understand why you would blacklist those words. But Tom, he didn't have any blatantly offensive slurs in his comments. He had referential humor based on an exaggeration joke. For the most part, other than that one that was actually probably anti-Semitic. But those kind of people, you know what? If I'm going to be really real, if you're a large YouTuber and you have at least like controversial takes or opinions on anything, no matter what kind of content you make, no, I shouldn't say that. No matter what you say in the video, you're going to have something really fucking offensive in your comment section. It happens with so many large YouTubers. It's almost a commonality kind of thing, you know? Alright, let's see. And this is him responding to the claim that these people in his Discord are his buddies. These are some randos in my Discord server. They don't even have roles. You are lying. I don't know what weaponized memes thing is supposed to mean in this situation. I think he's talking about the Pepe. I think that's what it is. Let's see. Weaponized move. Work wonders. Yeah, I don't know. He didn't really talk further about that. I just think it might be regarding to that guy being a dick and having a Pepe icon. I don't know. Alright, let's see. Since there's no reply function on this, what are your thoughts on iDubbbz? He's entitled to his opinion. I don't agree with it, but at the same time, there's no point going and trying to clip every time he said the word, and he's already explained his justification for it. Also, he makes good content, and I watch it regardless. Calling him a racist would be disingenuous in my opinion. What? What? Tom's a racist. Because he ironically says it. Behind closed doors. But it'd be disingenuous to call iDubbbz it that says it as well, ironically, in the public, promoting that said behavior that, you know, you hate so much. Huh. Wow, D'Angelo, nice man. You call me a fucking racist for saying the N-word privately and then tell people you don't care when people say it? You even say that calling people a racist for using it is disingenuous? You are such a vulture. Can't wait to discuss this on Sunday's video, during which I will have to defend myself against his doxing allegations. By the way, this kid is 17 according to Famous Birthdays. Wow, Famous Birthdays. That's never gotten anything wrong. And I've been reminded that I can't just go after him the same way I would with somebody literally a few months older. That's quite alright with me. If you want to act like a child when it's convenient, then I will deliver the video as I would to any child. Very calmly, very clearly, and with zero patience. Because I'm no good with kids. Clearly. Clearly you fucking hate them. You're trying to ruin their lives. No, granted. Not trying to ruin their lives. Trying to softly harass them on Thanksgiving. There we go, let me correct that. No one is claiming you doxed him. He claimed your accountability. You dished out led to a fan doxing him on Thanksgiving. You're attacking a kid for a comment that he made in private when he was 15. You know how bad this looks, and you're shook. I don't know if he's honestly shook, to be completely real with y'all. I don't think D'Angelo is one bit triggered. I don't think he's one bit shook. I don't think his ego would allow any of that. And this is Turkey Tom responding to the release DMs. Damn, bro. DMs from a year old, very classy. My only defense here is I was obviously joking when I said currently being canceled on Twitter on my community tab. I wasn't even losing followers. Everything else in this video is pretty accurate though. Overall, 10 out of 10 would cancel Turkey Tom again because I got like 2K Twitter followers out of it. This is in direct response to Bo Black's giving his 2 cents, saying how he, actually used to watch his stuff, doesn't anymore because of what D'Angelo doing is wrong. And D'Angelo mocking Bo Black's took that little tweet, went to the community tab on YouTube where he knew that he wouldn't get ratioed or wouldn't get nearly as attacked as he would on Twitter, and said, I'm getting currently canceled, guys. And tried to capitalize on it for views. And he's admitted to it, that he's trying to capitalize on it for views. But the thing is, you're dealing with such a sensitive subject. I would cancel him again for another 2K followers, essentially. Guys, that's fucked. You're really a fucked human guy. Yeah. I call you a human guy. Suck it. Your whole joke was H3 are Jewish. Never said that. Israel sank us U.S. Navy ship. Get it? Ethan is Jewish, and so is Israel. I didn't know Israel actually, could practice Judaism. Huh. I thought people practiced Judaism in Israel. I think it's the other way around. Fuck me. My world is fucked. Nice lie, man. Nice lie, man. I didn't even mention Ethan being Jewish in the video. And I had a 20-second bit about the USS Liberty in a completely different part of the video where I said nothing about Judaism. Well, we already touched base on that a fair amount. I'm not sorry. And this is pretty much his response to... Well, his initial response to the video in itself. And here is one of my takes on the entire situation. It was honestly me just mocking him before the apology came out. I said, in response to my buddy Cisco, where Cisco commented on this one. Oh, I can't believe I missed this tweet. Wow. Sorry about that, guys. Look, I get that you're either an idiot or pretending to be one, but your comment section is filling up with anti-Semitism, lie, for a reason. If that's the crowd you want to associate with, go for it. But just keep in mind that the sane people have sane people have a zero tolerance policy. In response of him to going, I'm not an anti-Semite, and I didn't have anti-Semitic imagery in my video. And then Cisco comments, couple of comments, the comment section is filling up. And then I, mocking him, get a screen cap of his Twitter bio, kind of emphasize on his ego. Can't criticize him, all of his opinions are infallible. He even sees himself as a god among men. Lol. And then somebody tried to correct me. Satire exists, and if you actually know the jokes he makes in his channel, you'll understand. But I guess you're just a boomer. Ah, so satirical jokes are okay if he does it, but not others. Aight, Zoomer. Ew, this is such cringe. I don't have a retort. I'ma head out. Okay. I later argued with them a whole lot more. You know, they're just brat. They're K-pop stan. You know, the cliche. And for now, I will touch on Turkey Tom's further response after we watch the D'Angelo video. And I will also highlight this because it goes in tandem with D'Angelo's video. And I can't word it better than Lionad did in this video. So, if you would like to give your 2 cents, feel free to join the waiting room and I'll pull you up. If you have an issue with what I said or blah blah blah, go for it. I'm gonna grab me some water. The Shure mic is AIDS. It's heavy as fuck, so not a lot of things can support it very well. I had to get a stand that's pretty heavy in itself, but it won't fit on my current desk. So, fuck me until I get my new desk. It doesn't look like people are joining. That's cool. Moving on to the video. Ah, guys, you all fucked me up. Nobody told me that the fucking Twitter responses weren't appearing on screen. Ah, fuck me. It's just been this frozen still this entire time. There we go. Or is it? I don't know, I can't tell. My stream's glitching out a little bit if you couldn't tell, so. Or at least it is for me. I don't know how it is for y'all. Alright, let's see. Let me go ahead and go and find that video real fast. It irks me that he appears in the search results. But that's just me being petty, so. All right. Here we are. Let's go ahead and watch this amazing piece of art.
Recently, I've come under fire for tweets that I've made regarding another YouTuber, and I just wanted to go on camera today and say, I'm not taking any of them back.
Great way to respond to a serious action in a humorous way, especially when you're on the defense. Doesn't make you look less like a bitch. Especially for a community that you're, you know, kind of trying to insert yourself into. You're never going to be a part of this community now.
People are mad at me online, so it's time to make some money. I've got my hoodie, the more dramatic camera angle, my notes.
A lot of people talk about how his, you know, gimmick is that he's kind of a... Well, he's just so in love with himself, so he only cares about nothing about but the money. You know, all fine and dandy. Not the situation to play a character.
On my phone.
And others have argued, he's not playing a character. Well, if this is his personality, God, he's just a shitty guy.
I think we're ready to do this. Here's a couple of pointers. This entire thing happened in less than a week, and it also took place entirely on my Twitter and my community tab. So this wasn't some sort of private beef where it's he said, she said. We said everything publicly, and it's still there. I'm only going to talk about the parts I care about, but the YouTuber BoBlax made a video about it where he screenshotted almost everything that was said, so you can watch that if you want to see the entire thing and how everyone reacted. It's no secret. I'm also going to be stealing his screenshots for this video because that makes my job a lot easier. This entire thing took place in 3 rounds, so here they are. This video popped up in my YouTube recommended called YouTube Sponsors. It's from the YouTuber Turkey Tom, and I clicked into it because it was there and I was bored. The video was mostly about YouTube sponsors, but I noticed some weird stuff in there.
Hello and shalom, my brothers. Being a merchant.
You see, he's already cutting up his evidence. He's already cutting it up to make it seem weirder than it actually is. And I've argued with somebody already about this. It's like, oh, it didn't seem like much more, you know. It's like, it's only a couple second long intro. What's the purpose of cutting it up? To shorten your video? We can all see from D'Angelo's past videos that he absolutely loves stretching it out more. So what's the purpose of cutting it up? Other than to make it look a bit worse. Even in the slightest way possible.
An accumulator of wealth, hide away from my fellow man, and look down upon the writhing masses in shame. Is making money fun for me? I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's more
and you see, he's jumping around. And he's creating a false, you know, image of what Tom's actually saying.
Fun to burn bridges with any chance of future success that I would have.
The weird Jewish stereotyping was completely...
Like... It'd make more sense, you know, if there's some indicator that he was going to be jumping between segment and segment, you know, like a lot of YouTubers will do like a very subtle face, but to his audience, this is Tom's, you know, vanilla content. It's just, and he encourages people to go watch the video. Nobody, it's insanely rare for somebody to go watch the source material, and if they are, you know, they've already got it stuck in their mind that the guy I'm standing for is right. So fuck it. Dislike.
Out of left field. Shalom, I'm a Jew. I like money. I collect wealth. And Shapiro, money. And the thing is, Tom...
He never once said I'm a Jew.
...is completely aware of how he came across, because he even included this clip.
Okay, drop him. He's a racist and an anti-Semite.
He added that clip, you know, to kind of emphasize on the thin-skinned people like yourself. Though, actually, nah. You're not thin-skinned. This is a tactic.
So I did exactly that. I went to Twitter and I pointed out the anti-Semitism. So the YouTuber Turkey Tom threw a bunch of anti-Semitic imagery in his latest video, and it resulted in a comment section full of anti-Semitism. Wow. If you have to rely on racism for YouTube engagement, A, accept that your content is trash, and B, go screw yourself. I'm cleaning this up for YouTube, obviously. And to this, I attached an image of comments that I picked out from the comment section showing how people were in fact being quite anti-Semitic. A lot of people had a lot of things to say about that, but the main man, Turkey Tom himself,
see, now, after a vast majority of your audience already believes, wow, this is his entire comment section, And you clearly stated that pretty much that his content section was just filling up like a faucet in a bathtub with those kind of comments. But you had to go and selectively pick. Huh. Also, with how it was presented, it made it still seem more consistent because you didn't elaborate it like you just did. So, your audience currently isn't going to think about that very, very subtle detail that's also very, very important.
Replied saying, I am not an anti-Semite and there is no anti-Semitic imagery in my video. Now, to make it clear, I didn't call Tom anti-Semitic because I don't believe he is. My criticism was...
Great, you didn't. A lot of others are. And I feel like that's a huge response of Tom. I feel like Tom is, one, responding to D'Angelo directly, and two, responding to his fans. Because his fans are calling him anti-Semitic.
Exactly what I said, which was that...
And we saw it, too. We saw it together. We saw the example.
Having that imagery in your video to pander to actual anti-Semites is low. He obviously...
He's not directly trying to pander to anybody. He's making a joke. That's just another accusation.
Denied it, but the issue here is that playing dumb like that doesn't really work when he himself acknowledged that he was coming across as anti-Semitic in his own video.
Okay, drop him, he's a racist.
He's not saying that he's being anti-Semitic. He is, again, just shitting on the people that are so thin-skinned that would be like, oh, he said shalom. He had a Jew, and later on he has a Jew and says Israel, so he's anti-Semitic. That was like a preemptive strike, in my opinion, but hey, if you disagree, fine. God, stop acting like what you say is fucking law. The reason why I'm kind of ranting a little bit longer on this one is my monitor just fucking died. Ah, shit. Yeah, my monitor's fucking dead. Alright, 1 second. Actually, I'm gonna need that. So I can see where my mouse is. There we go. Alright. Sorry about that, guys. You're gonna see a bit of Inception. Blah, blah, blah. Alright, there we go. Display capture, blah, blah, blah. 1. There we go. Oh, you see it. Well, okay, cool. Alright, let's watch this now.
Racist and an anti-Semite.
The fact that it was a joke doesn't change what's happening, so I didn't let him play dumb. I said...
But what's happening is your subjective take. That's a subjective take that you have now. He's not playing dumb. He's not outwardly being anti-Semitic. That was your subjective take. Stop acting like your word is law. For fuck's sake.
Look, I get that you're either an idiot or pretending to be one, but your comment section is filling up with anti-Semitism for a reason. If that's the crowd you want to associate with, go for it. But just keep in mind that sane people have a zero tolerance policy for your BS. Now, I would like to emphasize the middle part of that tweet. If that's the crowd you want to associate with, go for it. I put that there because I meant it. It's up to you to decide what content goes into your video and subsequently who you're pandering to.
Now it's up to D'Angelo.
No matter how you want to slice it, he put the content in his video, and I'm not here to stop him from doing so. Mostly because I literally can't, but I'm definitely here to share some thoughts about it.
He absolutely is not here to stop it. He's here to capitalize from it.
Then Boblax, the guy whose screenshots I'm stealing, tweeted out, "Darn, I thought you were pretty cool, but now you're lying about what Turkey Tom said in his video and falsely accusing him of promoting bigotry. That's pretty effed up." I posted that in my community tab with the caption, "Currently getting cancelled on Twitter, be sure to follow me," which was obviously a joke. I wasn't losing followers. I was just using the situation for some Twitter promo.
Of course you're not losing followers because we don't share communities, so obviously we wouldn't share viewers. Actually, no. there's the sane person that I was talking to that I keep referencing actually did unfollow D'Angelo. So technically he did lose a follower.
The best way to wrap up round 1 is by reading the comments left on that post. Someone said, I don't believe that Turkey Tom is anti-Semitic. He made some jokes in that video that were edgy, but I really think the problem here is with the crappy people in the comments section. He shouldn't pander to those kinds of people. And I said, this is my exact opinion as well. And
why couldn't you elaborate sooner? No, you waited till this video to elaborate it. By now, a lot of people have pretty much finalized their opinions on Turkey Tom and already have harassed him. Why couldn't you said this sooner on Twitter? No. You're acting like it's good that you said this in general, but in reality, your Twitter followers, which is a large bit of your interactive audience, isn't going to see this. Huh.
And that was, in fact, my exact opinion. A lot of people disagreed with me, but whether people agreed with
I might just check chat, see what y'all are saying, if y'all are. Nope. Okay, cool.
me or not doesn't matter. I said what I thought, and I didn't appreciate Tom making it seem like I was accusing him of being anti-Semitic, and he has no idea why, when he knew exactly what I was implying. But that was the end of it, or so I thought.
But he knew exactly what I was implying. Yeah, this guy talks like everybody just knows everything instantly as well. Him included. Like, no, take it 2 steps back. You know what? I kind of believe that this isn't a character, you know? I feel like this is kind of him. But for me to say this is him, without a shadow of a doubt, I guess I'd be like D'Angelo. So if I did say that earlier, fuck me. My bad.
24 hours later, it was Thanksgiving Day. I don't really do much on Thanksgiving, so I was reading the comments that were piling up on my tweets and posts. Many people were pointing out that Tom is only 17, which I didn't know when I told him his content was shit and to go fuck himself. Tom doesn't show his face in his videos, and from watching the one I did, I just assumed he was an adult. So for the record, I am sorry that I worded it that way, but I'm not sorry for the tweet itself. Just the way
I don't do much on Thanksgiving. Good for you, buddy. Good for you that you don't do much on Thanksgiving. But fuck everyone else that does celebrate it with family. You're an adult. You live alone. I imagine that you're single by how you act. But everybody else that is actually actively doing something on Thanksgiving, not me included. I celebrated a day earlier. So I was actively fighting on Twitter about this shit. But him to kind of pull this shit. How is, I didn't have much personally to do on Thanksgiving. How is that a fucking defense? People were fucking calling his house. This was these things that you were pushing to the public, even though you didn't outwardly call him a Nazi. These things that you were pushing to the public on this day in particular led in the fact that you didn't use the foresight to see that it was going to lead to, you know, some pretty hefty results. It's fucking ignorant. But I don't think you're ignorant. No. I think this was a ploy. I think this was a tactic. All part of the plan.
The way I worded it. And if I could redo it, I would make the exact same point, minus all the unnecessary words. As for the comment, some people 100% agreed with me that he was intentionally pandering to racists. Other people didn't agree that he was pandering to racists, but
don't use some people. Just say your fans. Say your stance.
Still pointed out that there's no real reason for those jokes to be in the video regardless. And then almost everyone else thought I was just reaching. They weren't picking up any malintent from Tom whatsoever. And outside of what I criticized him for and how he reacted, I wasn't either. I didn't think he was some closet racist who says a bunch of awful stuff.
I didn't think he was using malintent. You know, thinking that, let's go back to the tweet. Shit, bookmarks. There we go. There we go. So the YouTuber Turkey Tom threw a bunch of anti-Semitic imagery in his latest video, and it resulted in a comment section full of anti-Semitism. If you have to rely on racism for YouTube engagement, if he is actively relying on it for the engagement of more anti-Semitism, that would be malintent, wouldn't it? It wouldn't just like, he was just selling out, that's all it was. He could sell out to more than one audience. This very targeted audience that you're claiming that he is, you know, trying to engage with personally. Think about the subtle nuances. You practically kind of are calling him an anti-Semite. As I said, he could definitely pander to any other community. Any other hate community. Any other community. For any other engagement. But the fact that you're really droning in that he's specifically pandering to this one, even though you're not outright saying it, I don't know. I don't know. Hard to trust your words. Especially if you have to fucking quote-unquote play a character. If you're not playing a character, then you just talk like a disingenuous piece of shit.
Stuff behind closed doors. I just assumed he was going down a very unfortunate path with his content choices, and he should be well aware that it's more obvious than he thinks. Well, it turns out, it was the best of both worlds. After my initial tweets, people who knew him personally came to me and said, he's casually discriminatory in everyday conversation.
And that's a shitty person. Couldn't approach Tom about it. Couldn't approach somebody else in the friend circle. Approaches some random guy. Like D'Angelo. No, wait. No, he approached D'Angelo because he saw D'Angelo was already, you know, jabbing at Tom. So this quote-unquote friend of Tom's just wanted to try to end him. Thank God Tommy and them were pretty close to finding out who it is.
Both publicly and privately. Now, initially, I was just sent screenshots where someone had collected instances of him saying the hard R N-word in a group chat with a bunch of weird censoring. As awful as this looked, it didn't really prove anything besides the fact that he says the N-word casually, which, okay. But I still needed the context, so I asked this person to actually prove it was Tom and show me what exactly the conversation was, and they did. The N-word stuff was literally the most random ever, with my favorite example being, niggers don't talk, they just say chicken. Okay, there's also more stuff about Jews, with him explaining that his higher Patreon tiers are for Jews with deep pockets. So as you can see, the greedy Jew jokes in his video a year later didn't come out of thin air. That was a lot, but at the same time, the person who came to me was
his greedy Jew jokes. He never said Jews are greedy in his video. That's a correlation and the connection that you made.
Obviously biased against Tom for some reason. So I myself went to another person who knows Tom and asked them about the screenshots. I just wanted an explanation, but that person sent me even more screenshots and pointed out videos in which Tom had been documented saying stuff like burn the niggers publicly on Twitter. So at some point, you have to call it. And I called it. I said, Happy Thanksgiving, we're eating Turkey Tom.
I called it on Thanksgiving. When he's not currently promoting that kind of behavior, when he could have potentially changed from that kind of behavior, blah, blah, blah. He called it on Thanksgiving. He had to call it, guys. It was his mission. You know, it's kind of funny to think that he probably wouldn't get nearly as much shit if he just waited a full 24 hours. Full 24 hours. Why not? Because people talking about it and people shitting on him is also cross promotion. I mean, look at how many views this thing got.
He thought we wouldn't be able to see his racism through the thin veil of comedy. Meanwhile, he's doing this in everyday conversation. So allow me to repeat from yesterday when you tried to gaslight me. Go F yourself. And to that tweet, I attached my favorite screenshots, which were, my new name is going to be niggers, I hate niggers. Oh well, I'll eventually call someone a nigger too many times, or I'll bully someone enough. I doubt you'll hate me. Niggers don't talk, they just say chicken. That one is actually funny in its absurdity. And don't pretend like it's something for your fans, lol, it's just a tip jar for Jews with deep pockets. In regards to his Patreon. Once again, Tom responded saying, damn bro, DM messages that are a year old, very classy. I'm edgy, probably too edgy, but I'm not racist. Too edgy, but not racist. It's a creative way of putting it, and you know what? He's perfectly within his right to say so. So I didn't answer him on that front, but at that point, both of our Twitter followings got into a debate about whether or not it's racist to say I hate niggers, which is fun, but I didn't get into it because at that point, you're going to believe whatever you want to believe. I don't have time to go through but the word has a racist history, but iDub said it's just a word debate, because I already know where I stand on that, and I don't really need to change anybody's mind. Also, his assertion that the messages were from a year ago wasn't even remotely accurate, as one of the Discord messages
wasn't even remotely accurate. 1 month behind. So practically almost a month. Remotely accurate. Acting like it was yesterday. Almost a year. Just nitpicky. It's just nitpicky, that's what that is.
From less than a year ago. And the Twitter message was actually from about half a year ago, so that doesn't hold up. He's apparently apologized for this stuff in the past, or so I've heard. But these the Discord messages,
one second,
the messages were from a year ago, wasn't even remotely accurate, as one of the damn bro, DM messages that are a year old, very classy. I'm edgy, probably too edgy, but I'm not. And don't pretend like it's something. And don't pretend like.
Alright, so this just says 8 hours. So this was screen capped a long time ago. So we don't necessarily even know how long that was. We just have the Twitter profile pic to go by. Huh. So to claim that the Twitter thing was half a year ago, but no evidence to kind of back that up, that then in itself is he said, she said, something you said you weren't going to do. So it's something you weren't doing, but okay. Check chat. Alright,
really need to change anybody's mind. Also, his assertion that the messages were from a year ago wasn't even. It was actually from about past, or so I've heard. But these messages came after. So what's the point of apologizing if you're just gonna do it again? Speaking of that, in the video in which he apologizes, it ends with him doing it again.
Let's see. I thought it was on my private account. I made a tweet that no one was supposed to see. I want to not life. Let me hear how he phrases this.
Speaking of that, in the video in which he apologizes, it ends with him doing it again.
It ends with him doing it again. He doesn't say anything. What? He doesn't say anything at the end of the video bad about it, or at least he's not showing anything. He's just... What? What kind of point you're making right here, buddy?
Right after. So the pattern is there.
If you want to make the argument that Turkey Tom is still saying it, you could make that argument. Tommy C pretty much showed that to be true.
And that's why I said something. I didn't answer his I'm edgy not racist tweet, but I did answer a few other people. Probably the best of which was the YouTuber Nicholas Diorio telling me that.
I didn't respond to Tom's tweet. I decided to respond to other people. Oh, that's dumb.
He unpinned my comment on his YouTube video.
You responded things to be petty. That's what you're saying. Got it.
I'm just as bad as I'm Alex. I get what he's trying to imply, but I'm Alex falsely accused somebody of assault, so that's like comparing apples to oranges.
You insinuated somebody of anti-Semitism.
And besides, unpinning a comment, that's the best you could come up with. Okay, but then Tom...
No, he's making a video on you, dumbass. What else could he actively do in that moment? He was just disavowing you. That's all he was doing. The best you can come up with. What do you want? Would you want him to call you the N-word? Is that what you want? Oh, you apparently have an issue with that, but you're going to say that you don't, but you do. But you don't, but you do, but you don't.
I'm just went off in my replies. Not even my tweet about him, but the one about unpinning my comment. The point is that you're the same scum that you accused I'm Alex of being. Keep in mind that I've never made a video about I'm Alex, and my YouTube comment was really about Alex's fans. Anyway, the point...
So... Maybe we should... So the parallels between you and Alex are fair, because your fans kinda... They're fucked, buddy.
Is that you're the same scum that you accused I'm Alex of being. Someone that I clearly knew and trusted in confidence sent you those screenshots, and instead of DMing me and asking me if I was some sort of racist, they sent it to you. You know, when people say things like I hate others in any context, I'm not gonna stop and ask if they're racist, but even at that, I still did, and that's when I was sent even more garbage that you've said. So I'm sticking with my conclusion. He can.
No, you didn't. You broadcasted it. You didn't ask. You broadcasted. There's a difference.
Continues. The truth is, you have no real integrity over this. It's no secret that I'm edgy on the internet, that I say stuff ironically all the time.
And like, also wanted to add, on top of the broadcasting thing, that's what I mean by he's downplaying it. He didn't just simply ask. Initially, he was hostile, and then he brought a new thing to the table to make it seem like he's just trying to, you know, take him down any way he can. If he finds something, he'll take it.
I was literally suspended on Twitter for saying something about women. You don't give an F about integrity. You don't care about racism. This is about you outing the big, bad, racist Nazi Turkey Tom and collecting your Twitter likes off it. So you know what? F you. I'm not playing your little effing game where I apologize for being an awful racist guy. I appreciate the phone calls to my house, guys. Really cool of you. So there's a lot to respond to here, but we have plenty of time to do so. First of all, nobody's going out of their way to make him look like an awful racist guy, except him. I didn't.
Bullshit. You either are, as you would put it, let's see. Let's open this up. Sorry, Homer. I think it was here. No, okay. Let's see. Let me just go to his fucking Twitter. It's probably faster to find it there. Let's see. Did he remove a tweet? No, he didn't remove it because we saw it. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Look, I get that you're either an idiot or pretending to be one. But your comment section is filling up with...
Screenshot a bunch of guys. Really cool.
Calling people Nazis and racist.
So there's a lot to respond to here, but...
Nobody is calling him that other than you. You're going after yourself. All of your fans are doing that to him. Him saying, I'm not a... saying, oh, the big bad racist Nazi Turkey Tom. That's not Turkey Tom going, I just called myself that. No, that's him responding to what he's been being called.
We have plenty of time to do so. First of all, nobody's going out of their way to make him look like an awful racist guy.
So many people are. There is literally that one that took him insanely out of context and just blatantly lied. Let's see. That one I know I have. There we go. Your whole juke was HRHR Jewish. Israel sank a ship. Get it? Ethan is Jewish. People are blatantly doing that, dude.
Except him. I didn't screenshot a bunch of his tweets and then rearrange the letters so it spells the N-word. These are his own messages. It's not like he said this in a one-on-one conversation either. How would you not know that people screenshot things in the group chat? I now have access to that group chat. And besides, he's posted it publicly on Twitter before. Secondly, trying to tell me...
He posted it publicly on Twitter? And then he apologized.
That I don't care.
But didn't want to add that part, huh?
Care about racism? Have you not seen me? Like, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm like
Annoying?
really pretty. And honestly,
Nah, annoying.
of course it was for Twitter likes, but that
I don't care. I don't think you care about, you know, issues of black people. I've met other black people that don't really care about those issues as well. Okay? Yeah, to try to imply that since you're black, you must care. That's dumb as shit.
doesn't change my criticism or invalidate my opinion. We don't post things on Twitter for nobody to see them. Integrity is me saying what I think is true and then not backing down in this video just because some people are mad at me. As for the phone calls to his house, I'm not taking responsibility for that. None of my tweets or community posts, all of which are still publicly available, even implied that I want people somehow contacting his house. I didn't distribute his number because I don't know his number. I don't even have his.
By your own logic. If the imagery that Turkey Tom did in his video led to anti-Semitism, then the hostile imagery that you did in your initial tweet led to him getting doxxed. That was your fans' behavior doing that. Turkey Tom's fans' behavior apparently in your is posted anti-Semitism. But that's if we're going by your logic. I don't think you are guilty of doxing Tom. Like, I don't think Tom is guilty of anti-Semitism.
His real name. I just called him out from one creator to creator. Publicly, of course, because that's how 2019 works. And the last thing, big, bad, racist Nazi, Turkey Tom. Who said anything about Nazis? I didn't even
so many
use
people
the word or allude to it in this entire situation. I say Tom put anti-Semitic imagery in his videos to bait people. He says I'm not an anti-Semite. I say Tom is racist for saying I hate niggers and things like burn the niggers publicly.
Earlier
And
he said he
says,
wasn't racist,
I'm
huh?
not a Nazi. He's either deliberately misinterpreting what I'm saying or just reading way too far into it. And guess what? That backfired. So, for a recap before the final
He's
round.
either misinterpreting me, even though I'm doubling back and saying different things now.
Both Tom and I had all of our opinions on the table. My round one statements and beliefs. Putting anti-Semitic imagery in your videos leads to racism in the comment section, and it's not good and you shouldn't.
My round one believes, even though I did a thing and then you suffered from it, there's no, it can't be compared. But if you do it, you're in the wrong, even though that wasn't your intent.
I don't think Turkey Tom is an anti-Semite though. His round one statements. He's not anti-Semitic and there is no anti-Semitic imagery in his video whatsoever. My round two statements and beliefs. Turkey Tom says things like I hate niggers, which makes him a racist. Attempting to mask racism with memes is ineffective. His round two statements and beliefs. He's not racist, he's just too edgy. Besides, the statements were from a year ago, except for the ones that weren't. In addition, I have no integrity, and he's not gonna let me.
Now you're just saying he's doing racist actions, but he's not a racist, but you just called him racist twice.
Make him look like a Nazi. Plus, saying the N-word doesn't make you racist, which, for the record, obviously, in context, I don't think if you're reading Huckleberry Finn and your kid's like, what does that word say? You can't not read it because you're suddenly going to turn racist.
Wow, good way of quoting iDubbbz to make yourself, you know. You're flip-flopping way too much. Earlier you said that, yeah, he was a racist because he said it. Now, all of a sudden, okay, let's change it. I gotta remember about the thing I said about iDubbbz. So let me quickly say this. That way, you know, cover all bases. Even though I kind of already shit on some bases.
Anyway, this should all have been a big case of agree to disagree. Because at the end of the day, everything I just said was an opinion. They're contrasting opinions.
It's like acting like it was some sort of discussion. No, it was a fucking witch hunt. I didn't employ it for it to be a witch hunt. No. You make a public stance and expect that your followers to do the same and follow your beliefs. Some are going to be a lot more, you know, radical than you. So, you kind of did an unintentional witch hunt. Though, personal belief, I think it was intentional.
opinions, but nothing makes mine or his more or less valid except bias. From my biased point of view, nothing Tom is saying is correct, and everything I'm saying is right. But looking at the situation objectively,
I think that's what this entire thing has been. Your biased point of view.
he and everyone who agrees with his statements are just as entitled to tell me I'm wrong. That's why I'm not here to take back or add anything to what I said. I know I left out a lot of,
But you don't agree with this based on your biased opinion and your ego.
of what happened, but again, I really encourage you to watch Boblax's video because it has almost every single thing I said, and as we know, Boblax doesn't even like me anymore. So that video is not meant to make me seem like the good guy here, just as I'm not here to do to myself. But obviously I can't completely avoid that. Regardless, that's the entire situation to the best of my ability. So you might be wondering to yourself, well, wait, what?
He didn't at one time try to make himself, like, you know, be neutral or objective in this situation. No. Now he's just kind of, he's pandering to himself.
It's round 3. You promised 3 rounds. Well, round 3 is quite simple. See, if Tom and I had had this conversation in a vacuum, or, you know, in private, but we don't do that because we're influencers, then it would have stopped.
That's on you, buddy. That's on you. I'm sure with 200K and your influence, you could have easily reached out. Nicholas Diorio, you know, he was reaching out to people when he didn't even have 10K. And he was able to get great responses from million sub YouTubers. What's your excuse at 200K? Ah, you wanted the views, right? You've already admitted that, so.
At round 2. I think what I think, he thinks what he thinks. We all said what we said, and we're not taking it back. But remember, we had this entire conversation on Twitter. Therefore, the entire commentary community on Twitter absolutely lost it. People were calling me the scum of the earth, saying things like, well, it's Thanksgiving, don't you have a family to spend time with? Which is funny to me because A, it doesn't take that long to post screenshots on Twitter, and B, wasn't it Thanksgiving for you too? Unless, you know,
wow, it's almost like there's a false equivalence here.
you don't live in the US, but my point is, I don't have a family because Turkey Tom broke into their house and called them the N-word to their face.
Hilarious.
And unfortunately, they all dropped dead. And more importantly, there's a deep satisfaction about people being mad at me for tweeting at a turkey on Thanksgiving. You can't write this stuff. Another thing that
He's a child, not a turkey. Wait, that's just you trying to make more jokes and falling flat because you're a monotone piece of shit that doesn't care about his own actions. You just want the attention.
came up a lot was that I'm an SJW, which is ultimately not true, but even more ultimately ironic because the people calling me that were the ones absolutely
Alright, so he's just doing the quartering thing where it's just like, no, you.
losing it on Twitter, acting like I was calling Tom a Nazi and a white nationalist. I called him racist for saying I hate niggers. It's not that serious. The overreaction is what gets me the most.
He's pretty much butchering Nicholas's response because he just doesn't understand. So, we'll look at it in a second.
Was I overreacting? Obviously. My tweets were very mean, but you would think that a crowd who so valiantly champions their right to use edgy humor would be able to take a couple of mean tweets from some dude on Twitter without having a complete
accusations. Not mean tweets. Accusations. You directed it at a community that has fought constant allegations for a year for other people's sake. Okay.
meltdown. But alas, people were also crying about cancel culture, saying that I ruined Tom's future, which at that point,
you had the potential of ruining Tom's future. But yeah, ow, fuck! Hit my knee. You had the potential of ruining Tom's future, but yeah, let's downplay our own actions, shall we?
You're just doing the exact same thing that you accused me of doing, which is...
No, we're not. We're defending. There's a difference between a offense and a defense.
lying and exaggerating to try to make me seem like a person I'm not. First of all, cancel culture barely works. But secondly, being criticized...
Oh, fucking shit. Watch Nicholas Diorio's thing on Zaptai. Honestly, PewDiePie. There's a large demographic that still thinks he's a Nazi. ProJared. Still people think he's a pedophile. JonTron. People think he's a racist. The list fucking goes on. That sticks to you. It's not a matter of being absolutely fully canceled. You've got a permanent label on your head. It's not about being fully canceled. It's about having a fully permanent label on your head for the rest of your days that you just can't get off because of people like you piece of shit.
Criticize publicly is not being canceled. None of us lost enough subscribers for Social Blade to even register it. So either nobody got canceled or that was the most ineffective cancellation on earth. And as for me ruining Tom's future, first of all, he's publicly said the exact same things that I've shared. This isn't new information, which Tom himself referenced by saying, it's no secret that I'm edgy. Secondly,
he's owned up to it. And you know what? It's fair that he won't apologize in this situation because then it's like admitting everything that you're saying is right. Somebody else approached him, say in private, and this went on in a better way, and then he decided to make an apology about it. That'd be a much better, and more genuine act. But he knows if he apologized now, it's putting you on a pedestal. Ain't gonna lead to nothing.
Are you dumb or are you stupid? Do you really think this guy's first name is Turkey and his last name is Tom? When he applies for a job in the future, is he gonna put...
His face is known. His number now apparently is known because somebody probably grabbed his IP and tracked his exact location down. You're a fucking moron.
His edgy YouTube channel as the top line on his resume? If he doesn't, nobody's going to know it's him. 17
Too late.
years old though he may be, he's obviously taken lengths to remain anonymous. And so I left him anonymous. I don't
His face is known. His identity is known.
have his real name, his face, definitely not his phone number. So to the adults in this situation who are perpetuating this whole idea that I'm the scum of the earth because I exposed this 17-year-old as a Nazi by using old screenshots of edgy jokes, half of which were less than a year old and most of which contained racial slurs, and that I ruined his life because I had to be the police who gets to say what. Do you know what it makes you sound like? A triggered, overly dramatic SJW. If
Look,
you
a
guys
no
need
you
a safe
argument.
space where you don't have to see my scary, opinionated tweets, then log off Twitter. It's actually that simple. That's what I did when I got tired of hearing stuff like this.
So, my thoughts on this D'Angelo.
Alright, so here he's gonna cut this clip short and add clown music, obviously. Tipster. This is a video on Tipster News, giving his opinion regarding Turkey Tom. To add context, he's very hostilely going after D'Angelo and saying how this could, have very long-term effects on Turkey Tom's life, and just really emphasizing on this point. And he is calling D'Angelo a fuckhead. And let me add more context. He doesn't like Turkey Tom, and Turkey Tom doesn't like him. That's how serious this issue is. That people that don't like each other are having to stick up for each other because it's larger than a lot of other people think and can comprehend.
Fuckhead is, how does it feel to be a complete and utter fuckhead who's literally going after a teenager and potentially ruining his life and reputation before he even has a chance to live out
It's literally this serious.
his life?
People were also saying this is the same as trying to cancel PewDiePie, which makes less than no sense because PewDiePie apologized and stopped the behavior for every single thing he was called.
PewDiePie apologized when a wave hit him. There wasn't a face actively attacking him, and he made the mistake, whereas you approached him as a single person with a subjective take with a nuance to it that made it seem like he was an anti-Semite, which he wasn't, and then you used further proof on a holiday to label him as a racist. Why would he apologize to you? PewDiePie said a bad word, and then he owned up to it. That's on him. You attack Turkey Tom from multiple different angles and want an apology in regards of his actions. No.
Called on. I think the worst tweet out of all, though, was this one right here. Once again from Nicholas Diorio. Send your audience, tell them I said things I didn't. Have them flag my Twitter down like you're clearly trying to do with Tom. Really? First of all, if I did somehow get his Twitter taken down, you realize literally everyone would hate me, right? Secondly, if me tweeting about someone and tagging them in the tweet is me trying to get their account taken down, then that means everyone tweeting about me right now is trying to take my account down. Does that make literally any sense whatsoever?
Nah, I don't think you're trying to take Turkey Tom's account down because you really don't care about this issue.
You're just putting words in my mouth, and it makes you seem really dumb. This same person also brought up the fact that Tom has autism. At least I think that's what this tweet is saying. It says,
imagine if D'Angelo Wallace had a family or something to do on Thanksgiving instead of hunt imaginary white nationalists. You see, earlier he took him out of context earlier, and he was saying D'Angelo's a white nationalist. Instead of, which it's dumb. It almost seems like he's purposefully butchering this. Instead of hunting imaginary white nationalists, emphasizing on the point that Turkey Tom's not a Nazi, but a lot of people, him included, are hunting for this said Nazi. And his followers to harass a minor and a dude with autism. Dude with autism is in reference to Boblax. Though I think on that part in particular, I think that's fair. I think it's fair for him to not know Boblax has autism. He doesn't, label, or he doesn't brand himself with autism. They make a lot of autistic jokes on After Hours, but I can see based on Boblax's, actual videos and channel and all that, why the common man wouldn't know he had autism.
a minor and a guy with autism. None of this guy's tweets are clear to me whatsoever. But bottom line, this literally isn't a debate about autism. And unless Tom himself wanted to come forward and say that, it's really not relevant information. If that's even true, A, it doesn't change any of my opinions, and B, there's no physical way I could have had that information beforehand. In conclusion,
it probably would change your opinion, honestly, if it was true. I don't think, your integrity that you say that you have it's hard to steal.
All of the fully grown men on Twitter overreacting and embarrassing themselves, honestly, it's exactly what I would expect from Twitter. If you're planning on making a response to this video or using any part of this video to make some point later down the line, make sure you include the majority of what I'm about to say. I'm fully aware that freedom of speech covers your right to say the N-word. This might shock everyone who wanted to write me off as some sort of SJW, but I'm quite cognizant that you can say whatever you want. Not only that, but I'm also aware of the fact that what I think people should and should not say doesn't affect people's right to say it. I'm not the moral compass, the final authority, or the end-all be-all for anything that's said online. If I was, every YouTube video would just be 10 minutes talking about how great I am and how great everything I do is. But sadly,
wait a minute.
It's talking about anything that's said online. If I was, every YouTube video or the end-all be-all for anything that's said online. If I was, every YouTube video would just be 10 minutes talking about how great I am and how great everything I do is. But sadly, we don't live in that world.
But he has that in every single fucking video of his. He knows that can't be the topic in itself because it won't get him the views, but he definitely sprinkles that. So he did it in this one. He did it in this one.
But what edgy Twitter has truly failed to understand this past week is that we don't live in your world either. So for every crazy thing you say, there's going to be someone out there saying, I don't think you should say that. But if you're...
Agree. I agree. But every single way you approach this topic, every single way, you fucked up.
Reaction is to just act the same way as you're accusing me of acting, then that's really undermining your entire attitude. You use cancel culture the same way that people use the term problematic as an empty buzzword that means something I don't like and I don't want to hear. You start picking...
I think that's very subjective. I don't think D'Angelo himself is actively trying to cancel the turkey. But his action in itself, if he didn't use the foresight, is going to lead to a lot of people trying, though. And if a lot of people are trying to actually cancel him, and you could see people have by them doxing him, well,
picking up the same attitude as the people.
And I do think a lot of people really fucking butcher the word cancel culture. They use it so fucking liberally, and it's annoying.
You're against. Triggered, looking for any and every way to discredit people because they're saying things you don't appreciate, even if that means straight up lying about them. And most notably of all, you do the exact same thing that seems to be your biggest pet peeve. Pull out your victim card, stand on your soapbox, and lecture everyone from your moral high.
I don't agree with the person that's saying this, but I do agree with that message that a lot of people in the commentary definitely do that.
High horse about how you're not about to be oppressed by cancel culture. Do words hurt people or not? If not, say I hate niggas all you want, and I'll call you racist all I want. If they do, then we can all be more mindful of what we say. But I'm not gonna sit and let you selectively apply your logic. So my statement to all of the grown-up edgelords who sloppily came to Tom's defense is this: I can say whatever I want, and there's nothing you can do about it, whether you agree it should be said or not. I'm well aware that Tom is 17 now, and that he was 16 when he said some of this stuff.
15.
But seeing as some of it was only 6 months old, he hasn't changed, and he has a pattern of repeating it, I'm well within my right to call it out. Nobody's life is over because some tweets on the internet connected to an anonymous YouTube account. My life isn't over because you guys are calling me the scum of the earth and claiming that I ruined some child's life. And at this point, Tom...
Nobody is claiming that. They're claiming that you have the potential.
Is the only one who gets to decide how things play out in the future. So as for you, Tom, take ownership, dude. Either you're sorry or you're not. If you really want to be like PewDiePie or iDubbbz or Filthy Frank or any of these people, then it doesn't come with the "but I'm not really like that" immunity.
It does if you... Okay, here's the thing. You just said that iDubbbz doesn't get that immunity. And if he tries to be like iDubbbz, he wouldn't get that immunity. But calling iDubbbz a racist would be disingenuous. He just said that he would call Turkey Tom a racist. There's a lot of contradictions, buddy.
Especially not when you're turning 18. Playing dumb isn't going to get you anywhere. I didn't go forward with these old messages to prove that you said it in the past, so clearly you still have to be this way. I did it because after talking to your friends, it's obvious that you are still this way.
When you try and shield from the fact that these messages for a year...
Lieutenant Cobra is nobody's friend. I have not met a single person that is like, oh yeah, I like Lieutenant Cobra. He is just annoying. And he knows that he capitalizes on it. And hey, good for him if it actually makes him blow up and, you know, makes him famous. But like, I don't know, he's got like the Jake Paul, Logan Paul mentality of trying to attain popularity. Just be a douchebag. I don't care if he's a kid. I'm gonna say that he's a douchebag.
Year-old, it doesn't mean that you're
saying a douchebag is not life-ruining consequences.
Not doing the exact same thing now. I've been in conversations with Turkey Tom, and he's the exact same as he was a year before. Doesn't mean he's not allowed to say these things if they're in joking context, but the argument of him saying that this was a year old is irrelevant because he's doing the exact same stuff now.
We both became very hypocritical in this situation because I myself have said in previous videos that if we constantly had things brought up from our past that we've said, then we would have no legs to stand on. So I should have just gathered more recent examples to prove my point, which hasn't changed, which is that you haven't changed. You're being quite hypocritical too though, because you yourself made the argument that the YouTuber Hyojin was racist for talking the exact same way as you.
See, that's why I can't trust this guy, is because he's not, Turkey Tom's not saying that Hyojin is a racist for saying the N-word. He was calling her a hypocrite because she was pretty much accusing people of being racist, but was saying the N-word. It's not about moral grandstanding. He was just pointing out that she was being a hypocrite. That's another message that you just misinterpreted and just to make him look bad. I honestly think if you watched the Hyojin video, you would understand that. So that's why I think of everything that you're doing is just an attempt at character assassination.
Additionally, I'm not too sure that you have much room to talk about racist comments when you say shit like, "No, you stupid fuck." I just find it funny that she would complain about getting racist comments when she says shit like this.
It's either racist or it's not. Once again, I'm not going to let you selectively apply logic.
He's not.
Can't be racist comments when Hyojin says it as a joke, but
Let's see what this joke was. "No, you stupid fucking. Fuck you, you piece of shit. You're the worst person I've ever spoken to. I hope you fall in the toilet, you backwards ass eating self-human centipede. Looking ass Canadian beaver teeth looking ass shit. Had get a life in the sewers and make a living off of drinking the cancer leaking out of your colon. Love tunnel, you dirty sand." Wow, that's hilarious. That's the one funny joke that you think is a joke from Hyojin.
About getting racist comments when she says shit like this.
it's either racist or it's not. Once again, I'm not going to let you selectively, but only a joke when you say it as a joke. Ultimately, we both handled this situation wrong, and I am sorry for the way I tried to prove my point and how I said things. But this isn't an apology video for what I said. This video is just everything I should have said in the first place. Oh, and one last thing. This is a bit more personal. As for Tom's assertion that I don't really care about the issue and I was just using it for Twitter likes, that's the only part of this entire situation that actually hurt me, because if you knew what kind of person I was,
this is the most honest part of the video,
then you would know that I'm also using this situation for YouTube likes. Anyway, looks like I've gotten way more than 10 minutes of content out of this, so leave a like, tell me what you think, and subscribe.
Terrible. Alright, so let's go watch Linad's response where he actually went back and found some really damning some really damning stuff in regards of D'Angelo. And then after this, if you are still watching, I will take callers if you want to add some final statements.
Look, I get that you're either an idiot or pretending to be one.
Oh my god,
If
fucking
that's
Twitter.
the crowd you want to associate with, go for it. But just keep in mind that sane people have a zero tolerance policy for your BS. Now, I would like to emphasize the middle part of that tweet. If that's the crowd you want to associate with, go for it.
So Tom is responsible for who's in his comment section? Okay, if that's what you believe.
I've really been thinking a lot about my responsibility as a content creator. And I have come to the conclusion that I literally don't have any. I'm a YouTuber. There are never going to be any repercussions for any of my actions.
Now, I fully recognize that was him joking, of course. But at the same time, that is something that he did publicly say, so...
People were pointing out that Tom is only 17, which I didn't know when I told him his content was shit and to go fuck himself. I just assumed he was an adult, so...
I call BS.
So for the record, I am sorry that I worded it that way, but I'm not sorry for the tweet itself. Haley and Lena are not adults. I am turning 21. If allegations were to come up against me tomorrow, it would be on me to defend myself. And if those allegations were true, I would have to take responsibility. And if those allegations were not true, and I chose to respond to the situation, it would be up to me to prove that they're not. Because I am 21, I am an adult, young though I may be, I'm the only one responsible for my actions, and I understand that. But to expect that same mindset from somebody who is 15 years old is so backwards to me.
He was actually 15, even though D'Angelo keeps saying 17. If you want to act like a child when it's convenient. So, that pretty much highlighted a double standard that was very conveniently placed. You want to see how Turkey Tom handled this? As for an actual statement in the video, the quality of it aside, I don't agree with what he said, but it's not hard to see where he's coming from. I'll keep some of his criticisms in mind going forward. This has been a learning experience in a few ways. People thought that was an apology. It's not. But it is a mature acknowledgement. So you know what? Good on Turkey Tom. Mother Mary, that don't make sense, love. What doesn't make sense? That'll be the end. Let's see. If you would like to call in, you can join my Discord, and we could talk about whatever dissenting opinion you might have of anything, whether it be the D'Angelo versus Turkey Tom situation, whether it just be my coverage on it, anything. Oh my word. What is that? Oh. Let me get that down. That's just text. That was from my Discord. That's weird. Alright, let's see. I'm trying to drag my Discord over so I can see it, but it's fucked up. My monitor died midstream, so I had to do everything from my main one. 1 second. Let me just go and to my display settings. Hopefully this doesn't fuck the stream. Show duplicate. Alright. Seems like nobody wants to call in. That's fair. Got all of our call-ins earlier from all the active viewers, so that's chill. Alright, let's see. Thank you all for watching, and hope you have a good day, night, whatever. Don't harass kids on holidays. And have a good one. Bye-bye.